Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Can you hear me okay, James?
I can hear you okay, John. Can you hear me okay?
Good, yes, I can. Um,
Excellent.
well, the match hasn't started yet. There is a slight delay, having had Sabalenka on just now, winning her match and proceeding to the semi-finals, I believe, in the WTA 500. It can be a little bit tricky to keep up with tournaments, but probably I found the United Cup a little more difficult to keep up with because some people are still playing their group stage matches, whilst others are playing quarterfinals in different cities. But I was just saying to you off air, James, that it's been a pretty full on week this week. We'll have a slightly easier ride next week with basically, I think, Adelaide being the only tournament off the top of my head that is taking place next week as we ease ourselves into the Australian Open. But I said to you backstage, James, that I thought that maybe the United Cup has taken a bit of a backseat itself in a way since Brisbane really got underway, and especially since the big hitters like Rafa and Arena started playing.
No, I tend to agree. I mean, when the United Cup started back last Friday, now it would end up being. It was the only show in town for the first few days. I mean, yes, there was qualifying for the other events, but in terms of main TV players that we actually sort of care about, or storylines that we cared about, or we care about, then it was the only show in town. We were quite fortunate as a Brit that GB were the first tie up in the night session, so that was so everything was concentrated on that for Perth. But I think it's a classic situation of almost like the Davis Cup and the Billie Jean King Cup, which is once your nation goes out, a lot of your interest then starts to fade, and of course, majority of the nations have now gone out. And yeah, I know there was quite a tasty match between Zverev and Tsitsipas, at least on paper, that was playing today, but. Unless you have that sort of connection to either a certain player in a certain team or that nationality, you're going to pretty much lose interest almost in a team-based competition. Whereas we're really interested in seeing how Rafa Nadal's return going. He's had a fairly good draw so far. The draw's opened up fairly well for him as well to get to this sort of middling stage of the tournament. But then seeing how Holger Rune's performing in the men's, also what's happening in Hong Kong. Rublev doing a bit of a good run. And those classic storylines that we're quite comfortable with as tennis fans and that we really want to get involved with are, as you say, taking place in those Brisbane tournaments, in those tournaments in Hong Kong, and not to forget Auckland as well with like Raducanu's return, seeing Wozniacki versus Svitolina, and Svitolina's good run still continuing at this point. It's all those big storylines are taking place on traditional events. I don't know if that's a real word to use effectively as a sort of traditional.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Actually, I even though just talking about the United Cup, I'd forgotten to check the results because I've been sleeping the last few hours. But I see that Sakkari did her job for Greece, but Zverev won in straight sets over Tsitsipas.
Yeah, I mean, from what my understanding of, I'm trying to track a little bit. I mean, it was really weird that Greece didn't start their group stage matches until a lot of teams have finished all their other ones. It was a really weird scheduling thing that took place. I remember GB having all their matches completed and Greece not even starting theirs in Sydney. But Tsitsipas, by the looks of it, is still not. It's got some sort of problem with his arm of some degree. It feels. It feels like I know he sat out the first match. He sat out the first match in the group stages, and actually, interestingly enough, being the sort of tennis nerd that I am, I watched the that Abu Dhabi event that took place just before Christmas, and Tsitsipas played one singles match in the first day's worth of contest, and then sat out the rest of it because of that arm issue. So I think there is still potentially some issues around fitness with Tsitsipas, which are playing into why that was probably such an uncomfortable victory. But then also we have to credit Zverev. He's come into this year playing incredibly well. I think he's won every single match he's participated in so far at the United Cup, and has really been the flag bearer for Team Germany, it seems, in terms of getting the victories that they need to progress. I believe this will be to the semi-finals if they can see it off in the doubles as well. But Sakkari and Petros Tsitsipas may be a bit of a stronger competition in that one. It may be quite a tight one.
Yeah, of course. They've got Sakkari Tsitsipas. I guess that'll be kicking off fairly shortly. Sakkari Tsitsipas against Siegemund and Zverev, which will decide the tie and see who progresses into the semi-finals. I believe that there will be therefore 3 quarterfinals. in the coming 24 hours on what will be, because I'm guessing there must be a lot more quarterfinals to come. The semi-finals is on Saturday.
They've already completed some of the quarterfinals. I know that.
Of course they have. Yeah.
Australia beat Serbia. Poland beat
That's
China, and I think one more's already been sorted as well. I can't remember, but then both
Australia beat Serbia. Oh yeah. Australia beat Serbia. Exactly. Yeah. Of course.
So I think both semi-finals are tomorrow for the United Cup, and then the final being on Sunday.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. So that's part of the issue, even for me. I'm thinking, hang on a second. Poland feels like 3 or 4 days since Poland played, and what are they? And of course, they're in the semis. Yeah, they're already there. So, and I get it that they've had to travel from Perth, but it's not. It's a 3-hour flight. It's not too bad. I think
a lot of the players who were in Perth last year complained about the lack of time that they had to recover. I mean, I think the distance of that flight, I think, is similar to you were flying from like the UK over to Moscow. The UK over to like something like Moscow or something like certainly going to something like Belgrade or whatnot. That would be it's a bit of a distance that you do need a day to sort of get yourself sorted for.
Yeah, maybe. But it's just led to a bit of confusion, certainly from my part. But maybe I'm actually having a look at the screen as well, looking at some of the rain that's been coming down in Brisbane. I don't know if that was happening today. I didn't see Sabalenka's match, so I don't know if there's been more rain in Brisbane today. I did also see that. Hi, William. By the way, William, I've not seen you before, so please do hit the like button and, more importantly, click subscribe. And William, if you haven't subscribed already, if you click subscribe, shortly afterwards, you'll see that little figure tick over to 128. And William, you could do a little dance and say that was me. Anyway, so I know that there was a match between, I think it was Arnaldi as he was trying to close it out. Safiullin against Arnaldi, and that was delayed. They had a sort of moment when it was delayed. So I know that they put the roof over. I think at one point in that match.
Well, it's I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's up with Court 1. I don't know if they actually, even though there's a roof, it's a weird one because of the way it's called. But it's the big centre court that we see on TV, which Rafa's on at the moment. That's a huge permanent roof, which I think is wet weather resistant. But they've got these sort of like smaller roofs on the Show Court 1 and Show Court 2. But I don't think they're wet weather resistant, so they usually still can't play it when it's raining too much on those courts. But I think there has been a gap in the weather because I think it was just a bit overcast for the outside courts, and they were able to get, as you say, the Safiullin match sorted. Good win for him as well to get to beat Arnaldi. Arnaldi's in a really good vein of form at the moment, and then I think
Safiullin.
Yeah, so Safiullin, and then what was it? Noskova, a bit of a surprise victory against Mira Andreeva. I thought Mira were going to win that match, but it seems that the 2 weeks before Australian Open, Noskova sort of comes alive as a player in those tournaments, and then of course Grigor Dimitrov saw off Hijikata quite comfortably in his match on the Show Court 1 as well to be the opponent of whoever wins this match. You're gone mute, John. No, as we can see, if you've got a poll on our a poll just to the side there as you're coming onto the YouTube thing, please do click who you think is going to win. And we've got 12 votes so far, and all say Nadal.
Am I here again? Can you hear me?
You're here again. There you go.
Yeah, I've got 2 microphones that I didn't charge, so I may suddenly go on mute again with this one as well. But fingers crossed, we'll get a few more minutes of juice out of it, and by which time Rafa and Jordan may even be underway. But we'll see. If I suddenly go on mute, you'll know why. What was I saying? So Dimitrov is through. I didn't know that actually. Of course, Rafa has a 14-1 head-to-head. So if things are normal, then you would expect Rafa to emerge the winner over Dimitrov. But things are not normal. This is not quite what we expected. Are you surprised by the level that we've seen from Rafa in the first 2 matches?
In a way, yes, just because of the way last season ended, where he couldn't seem to get a victory against against semi-decent opposition. I think okay, so he was kind of unlucky with his United Cup draw because he drew both De Minaur and also Norrie, who were in very good veins of form and top 20 players at the time in the United Cup last year. But then when it came to the Australian Open, it was he was lucky to get through the Jack Draper game. I think if Jack's body didn't let him down, he would have won that match anyway. And then it was what was it, Mackenzie McDonald, who's around about a 50 in the world type player, and he did dispatch of Rafa quite I say comfortably in a way in the second round match. And just coming, it's not as though Rafa was or a player was in a really good vein of form and then the injury hit. It was the form dropped and then the massive injury kind of came up as the issue. So against team. Okay, that was probably a lot of that was, there's a lot of mental baggage for team against Rafa. I know he's got a couple of wins against him, but mainly Rafa's been able to get the better of team throughout the years. But we have to also look at the fact that the players that Rafa has coming up against are they've not really been ranked inside the top 50, and even against Jordan Thompson at the moment, he's only ranked around about 61, 62 in the world anyway at this point. So he's still not going to be playing anyone in the top 50, and if he is able to get through this, the match against Dimitrov will be the big yardstick that we can then measure how well Rafa's looking going into the Australian Open and going into the rest of the season. Because if he's able to either win it or look close in that match, then it's very good signs. But there is the potential that a proper ranked player could end up actually really exposing maybe some issues that Rafa still has.
I mentioned the form of Safiullin, and of course that includes a really good win he had over Ben Shelton. And we saw Safiullin getting some landmark wins as well at the back end of last year against Zverev during the Asian swing, and then of course Alcaraz indoors in Paris as well. So he's becoming a sort of player to be reckoned with, and could be. I mean, he's already gone deep at Wimbledon. So I was going to sort of draw a comparison to Lehecka, but actually, because I was thinking of Lehecka's run in Australia last year, but actually he's probably a little bit ahead of where Lehecka was a year ago, because he's already had a deep run at a slam, and he may well be fancying his chances again. Perhaps he's a player that tends to, he's a guy with a big serve. He's somebody that I think could cause Rafa some trouble in the final. But I think whoever Rafa plays, whether it's Rune or Safiullin, if he gets that far, of course, could be a problem. But of course, Humbert withdrawing. I'm just trying to think, by the way, some names that have now withdrawn from the Australian Open. We've obviously had Muchova pulling out about a week ago, which is, of course, a huge disappointment for her, and her injury travail seemed to be continuing. We had Davis on the women's side as well withdrawing, which meant Emma Raducanu gets a direct.
Oh, Mike's gone again, John. Yeah, and then we've also had I think the big one that got announced, what was it, late last night my time, probably early in the morning in Australia, was Madison Keys pulling out of the Australian Open as well. I mean, that's a huge miss, because she had a good run last year. I think she got to the quarterfinals, if I remember correctly, for Madison, and I know that she had a good season last season and would very much want to continue that. And it's a shame that we won't see Madison Keys at the Australian Open.
I think I should be back.
There you go. There we go.
Unfortunately, no microphone for the next couple of minutes, but still I don't see the players on court unless I need to update my stream.
Probably they've just done their warm up, and I think they're about to then start to they've just done their warm up, and they're about to start to go do proper play.
Oh, okay. So I better update my stream then, because I think on my screen they're not there, which is why I was wondering what was going on. But all right, cool.
Very lucky I get to use Tennis TV for this one, given that we now have the prehistoric Sky Sports as the people that decide what WTA matches I'll be able to watch, it seems.
I'm going to go backstage now and let you take over, James, and talk to it. If you need a break, as in a 60, 90, 120 second break or whatever, give me you can say it on air as well. But give me a 60-second warning, because I'm going to be watching you on YouTube from front stage, because my stream is a little bit behind most others. I can see Rafa's won the first point, at least on the screen. So so I'll be front stage if you like, but my stream will be a minute behind. I'll need at least a minute's warning before coming to your rescue. I'll be here at the end of the match for sure to just have a quick debrief. Roof is not closed. They have a permanent. So they have a permanent roof, do they, Terry? At least that's how I understand what he's commenting.
Yeah, they do. It's like a huge big gazebo that they have right over the Pat Rather Arena. I'm guessing
that's always there, so it's always kind of closed in a way.
It's always there. It's the same for Adelaide. They have the same sort of coverage over their roofs as well. I think it's a heat thing because you can't really because in those parts, especially in Brisbane, it is incredibly hot and humid, and if you have the sunlight alongside of that, it could be quite dangerous for the players. So I think that's the reason why they have a permanent roof over that court. But they have air that circulates around the top of it as well to still make sure it's an outside to outside environment. As you said, Rafa's got the first point in his serving first. And they've currently got a forehand to backhand exchange. Rafa tries to go up the line and he hits it wide of the tram line. So it is 15-15 at the moment. Exactly, Terry. You've got it spot on there. Slides are open. The sides are open to allow wind and air to circulate and to make at least simulate the feel of an outside court. So he said, so it's 15-15 at the moment. I know the score thing will be a little bit ahead of me, but at least I'm going off Tennis TV's most up-to-date thing on my iPad. So Rafa here is going for the serve, goes across, if I can speak properly, he was at the deuce side, he went out wide, Thompson unable to get anything to that. It is now 30-15. So you can see lots of people in the stands who are taking pictures of Rafa. All very excited, as much as I am, in terms of to be able to commentate on a Rafa match. I don't think I've actually ever been able to commentate on a Rafael Nadal match yet, so I'm really pleased to be able to do this. Goes out wide again, backhand up the line by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Rafa again, all taking place on the baseline at the moment. Forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson. Really cat and mouse game taking place at the moment. Backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson again, forehand by Rafa, backhand, cross court at the moment. Down the line by Thompson, backhand by Rafa, keeps it just about in. Thompson goes it. Rafa comes into the court, tries to go backhand down the line. Thompson just about gets to it, but it is wide of the tram lines. Excellent game of cat and mouse by the Spaniard there. 40-15 at the moment. So that was a very good rally there. Just blows away the cobwebs, you could probably say, for both players on that match. At points, Rafa really working his forehand to Thompson's backhand, but Thompson has a decent backhand and was able to at least live with it for the majority of it until Rafa saw an opening, was able to really get into the centre of the court and to play off that point there. There'll be a fist pump by Rafa for that one. So as we say, we're at the deuce point, with the deuce side of the court. Goes for the serve, goes down, goes across court. Thompson's just about able to get a racket to it. And as such, but with that racket to it, he's only able to actually get it into the net. So Rafa wins his first service game. So that is, let's see, Thompson has picked up a couple of votes. We've got a couple of Aussie supporters or Jordan Thompson supporters in the chat, hoping that, the home crowd, the home environment will lead Jordan Thompson on to maybe getting a victory. I unfortunately think that that's a bit of a doubt, but we will work off that going forward anyway. It'd be good, like I said, if you could put in the chat if you've got any questions you'd like to ask about this match or anything to do with the start of the season. I hope you're all very excited about the start of the season. I know if you're in Europe, it's still early-ish in the morning, and this is like the last match that we've got before sort of the standard silence, which is unfortunately a shame when it comes to. It's unfortunately a shame when it comes to being able to watch as much tennis as possible, but it's such a beautiful place in the world to actually start the tennis season. The lovely sunlight of the Australian summer, all the colours, all the vibrancy. I'm going to have to admit, I really love the brand management by the Australian Open organisers and Tennis Australia. I think they do an excellent job with it. And I really hope that continue that going forward for them. As Thompson's really on the attack here, brilliant. Came into he received a short ball from Rafa, came into the net, and was able to an outside in forehand to sort of win the first point on his service game. So we've got, you can see with the subscriber count, we've got another one that's knocked off. We were at 5127. We are now at 5128. You probably saw with a little tag at the start of the episode, if you could, we want to try and get to 6,000 by the end of the Australian Open. Forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Rafa. Real bit of aggression by Thompson, which is good to see. Forehand by Rafa again. He's just soaking it up at the moment. Good baseline position by Rafa as well. Not standing too far behind. Oh, tries to do a classic Rafa curving forehand down the line. Unfortunately, just about doesn't reach the singles tram line, unfortunately. But it was an excellent shot just to see nonetheless. So it's currently 30 love to Thompson at the moment. Which is good. So it's currently 30 love to Thompson at the moment. Forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson up the line, backhand by Rafa just about gets to it, forehand by Thompson, cross court, brilliant slide Thompson there. Forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson up the line, backhand by Rafa just about gets to it, forehand by Thompson, cross court, brilliant slide Thompson there. Right, so back, so we're just going along, so showing us a replay there. So Thompson, good start to the service game for Thompson. In his first one, you want to be starting well against such a great player like Rafa. You don't really want to be falling behind too early. Good start to the service game for Thompson. So it just great player like Rafa. You don't want to be falling behind too early. And talking, I think it may be yours, John. I think your YouTube thing's playing in the background. That was just forehand long by Thompson. So Rafa was able to get his first point. Was able to get his first point on the Thompson serve there. That was just forehand long by Thompson. So there we go. That's better. We just got that background noise. Just tidied up a bit there. Okie dokie. Thompson's just looking around. He is sporting the moustache, the famed moustache of Jordan Thompson. Or I say moustache, actually, he's gone for the full beard this time around. It was actually quite funny. It was, I say it's quite funny. I was at Queen's this year, and not Queen's, sorry. I was at Surbiton last year. And of course, John Thompson loves playing at Surbiton. He pretty much plays there every single year. And I walked past him, and he'd already got rid of his moustache. He completely got rid of it, and he looked like a completely different individual. It was remarkable to see as Thompson's able to just about take the point and hold his serve just there to make it one game all. But no, this time around, Jordan Thompson has gone for the full beard. Like he's a good man to be able to sort of grow a full beard like that. I very much would like to be in that situation one day. It makes me wonder, what would Rafa Nadal look like with a beard? I know you're probably tuning in and you're probably thinking, why is he talking about beards? It's because it's something that's popped up into my head. So on to the next service game with Rafa. Looking to keep himself in head. Goes down the tee. Johnson's just about able to get to it. Rafa comes into the court. Outside in forehand. Beautifully dispatched by Rafael Nadal there. As we see some fans in the crowds, holding up Love Rafa signs. Good. I mean, also Rafa's kit. It just seems like they sort of spend all their time making sure Rafa's kits look brilliant. And unfortunately, I'm not a fan of the current crop for this Australian Open season. I really think they've let themselves down actually for the main players and also Adidas, to be honest. With what I've seen so far, as Nadal hits a brilliant forehand out, a brilliant serve out wide that Thompson's unable to get back into the court. But yeah, I just think they look a little bit drab and dreary at the moment. At least last year, they felt like they had colour and vibrancy, and I really hope that they go back to those design characteristics in future times, because Australian Open feels very vibrant and colourful, and I'd like them to continue that in their kit manufacturers. As another excellent serve by Rafa out wide, he's loving it going out wide. He is spreading his serves like an eagle, stretching its wings on both sides of the court. and just making Thompson think and think again about where to go to return a Rafa serve. But yeah, like I was saying, Rafa's kit looks excellent. It's very colourful, very vibrant, very pastel type colours with the pinkish, salmon pinkish, and the lime green. Thompson just about gets it. Rafa comes to the court, forehand down the line by Rafa, puts it away, chucks the ball as though this is me. I am here to get this match over and done with. 2-1 at the moment to Rafa. As we can see, Knight has, of course, fallen. Knight has fallen in Brisbane at the moment. We are keeping an eye also to see who's going to win between the Greece and Germany tie at the United Cup. They currently won all in the first set over in Sydney. And the continuation, and it's an interesting story, actually. Zhu Zhang, the Chinese player ranked 183 in the world, has just beaten Francis Tiafoe at 6-4, 6-4 in Hong Kong. So to continue the great run that Zhang has had, he beat Lorenzo Musetti at the beginning of the week as well, which was excellent to see. And because of the quarterfinal run he's had to Hong Kong, he was given a wild card by the Australian Open or Tennis Australia for the Australian Open, which is excellent. And he's now into the semi-finals of the competition. I believe he would be in the same quarter as, or the same half of the draw as Rublev Fils, which is the match that's about to go on next. But the continuation of an excellent run by Zhu Zhang. I mean, he was noted as a really big up and coming youngster and has had a few injury issues in recent years, which has really stopped him from really pushing on as quickly as people would expect. But, he's really making the most of his Hong Kong wildcard and is now into, into the semi-finals of the event, which is excellent for the young lad. I know, we know with how well Triple Z, Zhu Zhang, was looked after or at least supported in Shanghai that a couple of months ago or a few months ago. That there is certainly appetite in Chinese tennis to have strong male players. I know they've had a really strong female players across the years, but to really sort of make a break into the male game as well. Down the line attempt by Thompson there was a back on the game, so I just hit the net, so onto a second serve. And then he goes down the tee again, backhand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, and it is long. It was a brilliant backhand by Rafa on the return. He literally hit on the return straight onto the baseline of Thompson. Thompson, of course, ends up being pushed back and is only able to really sort of wail at the ball and hits it long beyond Rafa's baseline as on the return. Excellent. Goes down the tee, backhand by Rafa. Thompson comes forward, forehand by Rafa cross court, backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, all short though. Thompson comes forward, but what a mistake by Thompson. It was a short return by Rafa. Thompson came into the net and backhanded it into the net instead of away for a winner. He's flipped his cap the other way around, just in a little bit of embarrassment with that one there. So that is now love 30. So a little bit of pressure already on the Thompson serve, and a bit of pressure already sort of showing itself on the Thompson game there. So Thompson into the air, goes down the tee, forehand by Rafa, but it is wide of the tram line, and as such, it is now 15-30. Rafa still in the lead in this service game. Thompson able to get at least 1 point there. Thompson's just asking for more balls from the ball kids and muttering to the ref or the umpire, in the process. As we can see, the umpire talking on the walkie-talkie. Thompson goes down the tee, backhand by Rafa. Thompson comes to the net. Goes down the tee, easy put away. He's not going to miss that time. 30 all. So we're at 30 all at the moment. So Thompson just about returning really well there. As we can also see, the win, who we think is going to win calculator has Nadal at 89% and Thompson at 11% at the moment. So still, the vast majority of you think that Nadal is going to be picking this victory up. So 30 all. So big moments at the early part of this first set. Goes down the tee. Brilliant ace. Oh, no, not an ace. Clip the net there. clip the net there. So we're just on a sort of just a let. So see what happens. So we're now on to the next one. So Thompson goes down the tee again, clips the net again. So we've got another serve, just collecting some balls from the ball kids. Seems like Thompson wants to remain going down the tee. And as I see, Dimitrov is the one who lies in wait. He'll be doing his warm down at the moment, just watching this. And that was an attempted body shot by Thompson, which failed, and then actually went long of the box. So that is now onto a second serve. Thompson goes in the body. Forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, onto the net. Oh, that is lucky for Thompson. It clipped the net, and it literally fell over and bobbled over to the other to Rafa's side. So Thompson 40-30. You can certainly tell and probably say that this is a Australian net made in Australia. With the luck it just gave to the Aussie at that point. It sort of hands up to Rafa saying, my bad. Yeah, and all the as you can see, as we know, Runa Safulin is going to be the first semi-final tomorrow. I believe that's on at around about 5 o'clock UK time, 6 o'clock Central European time, and then the Dimitrov versus either Nadal or Thompson match is just going to be I think it's a 10:30 UK time, 11:30 European time match. It's going to be taking place. Thompson goes down the tee, backhand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson down the tee, backhand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa. Oh, it was a shanked forehand by Rafa on that bit there. He was in the rally, shanked the ball, and Thompson is able to take the service game. So it is 2-2 at the moment, 2-2. Now, as you probably heard, it's the time of the funny time zones when it comes to tennis for this month. For my time in the UK, it is usually all matches are starting at around about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and finishing at around about midday, or just after midday UK time. But I know if you're in the States, especially if you're on the East Coast, then you've got matches then starting at around about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening, and then finishing at around about 6 o'clock in the morning. West Coast, I think you're a bit better positioned. Rafa goes down the tee, backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson into the net as Rafa charges the net like the bull that he is, and that takes hit to 15 love. 15 love to Rafa. Terry, did you say Rafa will be on second tomorrow evening? If Rafael Nadal wins this match, he will be on second in the evening session. Yes, Terry, that would be the case. I know they're playing. I think they're playing Sabalenka's match first in that. I don't quote me on this, but I think Sabalenka's semi-final is going to be first, and then it's going to be Rafa and Dimitrov, or Dimitrov and Thompson as the second match in the evening session. As Rafa hits a brilliant return there, as we can see already on his first serve, he has won 100% of his points. They may do, Terry, actually. Yeah, I mean, like I said, don't quote me on it. Let me just have a relook to see if WTA have actually put out their new good return along of the thing there. That was the case usually, Terry. I've just had a look at the on the ATP WTA app on the Pat Rafter Arena, as Nadal just seems to be storming to this hold here at the moment. He's 40 love up. We've got the women's final for the doubles. So if you've got for a little bit of British hope there, Heather Watson and Greek Minnan are in the final against Kichinov and Ostapenko. Kichinov and Ostapenko are a brilliant doubles pairing, so that'd be a very tough contest. That's 1 o'clock in the morning UK time. And then the next semi-final is at 3 o'clock. That's Noskova versus Rybakina. There's Nadal Oh, Thompson, brilliant, brilliant forehand win, ball down the line there, makes it at least gets up to 40-15. Then at 5 o'clock, it's Rune versus Sabulin. 8:30, it is Sabalenka versus Azarenka. Cracker. That's going to be a cracker. And then it's going to be Dimitrov versus either Nadal or Thompson at 10:30. Could be because the match hasn't finished, may not be allocated times yet. It was a brilliant return by Thompson on that point there. Yeah, Terry, that's the order of play on the WTA ATP app. It's just gone to a second serve here. What looked like quite an easy Nadal service game is actually it's the tad more tricky, just a tad though. Nadal tries to go across court, no luck. So goes the tee, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson's at the net there and controlled the net incredibly well. He was all over it. He was not letting Rafa get any easy points there. And Terry, you were banking on first up for, I think that probably may have been for Sabalenka's match. No, it's Sabalenka versus Azarenka is the 8:30 match tomorrow morning, my time. So at the moment, Nadal is still 1 point away from holding his serve, but Thompson has got 2 points back in a row at the moment. Will Nadal see it off here? Goes down, quadruple across court, hits the net. Hello, Ashley. How are you doing? It's good to see you in the chat. Do comment on how you think the match is going, or any questions you may have will be excellent. It is 2-2 at the moment. Nadal, though, goes across court. Backhand by Thompson. Brilliant backhand by Thompson. He is hitting some brilliant returns here. It was 40-love up. It was 40-love up for Nadal, and it's now about that back to juice. That was a brilliant backhand return. Got such an acute angle on it. It was pushed out wide. Backhanded it onto the service box on Nadal's side, but that's such an acute angle that Nadal could do nothing about it. Ashley, is Thompson playing okay? He seems to be playing very well. He's at least bringing a good level. Rafa tries to go up the tee. No luck. Unfortunately, Rafa seems to have lost his first serve at the moment. Hasn't made a first serve in the last 4 points. He's saying you think he's playing a lot better than you thought today. With the Australian crowd behind you, you're going to try and play your best. Forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson into the net, though. That was an unforced error. That was a chance there for Jordan. And he may have just handed Rafa back his service game. So we're at advantage Rafa Nadal at the moment. But yeah, that backhand down the line, usually you'd expect him to make it. That time he just buried it in the net. Especially when you come from it's one of those sort of most deflating things. As Rafa goes outside the court, up across court again by Rafa, backhand by Thompson, but it was only into the net. And Rafael Nadal is able to get to 3-2. So it's 3-2 Nadal. It's one of those, you watch it as a fan and you can feel it as for the players as well who have it happen to them. You say you're returning, your opponent goes 40-love up. You're somehow pegging back to 40-40, or you peg them back to 40-40, and then you lose the next 2 points. And they just walk away with the service game anyway. I mean, all that effort that you put in to get to juice, and then for it realistically to be worth nothing, it's it's one of the cruel aspects of the sport that can happen. As you see, talking to accountants, said it perfectly there. The lack of the first serve from Rafa there really made that service game more tougher, as a word, than it should be. And I tell you what, as we just got the what was Jordan's highest ranking? Let's have a look. That's a good question, Ashley. Let's go. I'll have a look actually for that. So Jordan Thompson, where are you at? Okay, so Jordan Thompson, highest career singles ranking was 43 in the world, and he is currently 55 in the world at the moment. So he's not too far off his career high. which is good for him. He hasn't won any career titles, at least on the main tour. But I know he's been quite a dab hand at the Challenger Tour at points. Yeah, so 43 in the world. So he's been a bit of a he's certainly been a bit of a main tour, and I don't use this word as politely as I can. Almost like journeyman, almost. He was like, a bit like what was John Millman in terms of somebody who was able to stay around about between 40 and 80 in the world, was able to at least get into the vast majority of all the 250s, some of the 500s and the bigger Masters events, but that's basically been about it. Backhand, forehand by Rafael, hits the net there on the Thompson return. So it's 15-love to Thompson on his serve, on Thompson's serve. As I say, St. John playing in Nottingham and get blown away. It's good to know you went to an event there, Ashley. It's Nottingham's a good challenger event. I know that John Thompson is a really keen grass court player, so for him to get beat on the grass courts in Nottingham, a challenger, is a bit of a shock. I say a bit of a shock in terms of it's a bit of a surprise, really. He must have seen him in a really big match there. He rarely gets past round. He does rarely get past round 3. If he's able to get to, look, I would say like if he's able to get to the first weekend of the Australian Open, then I think he's done very well indeed this year around. Forehand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, tempted lob. Thompson, though, with a failed smash. Nadal sticks it up into the air. Didn't really have much of depth on it in terms of where it was going to land to Thompson. It should have been a perfect smash. Doesn't get full contact with it and hits the ball wide of the baseline. He was indeed actually there last year. He won the title in. He played some excellent matches. I remember watching on the TV. I was, like I said, I was privileged enough to be at Surbiton the week prior to last year to watch him win his quarterfinal match against Kubler. And just a bit of another plug. If you live anywhere near a challenger, a tour that takes place this year, please do try and go and attend. You see some great tennis, and you get really up close and personal with the players. I know when I was at the Surbiton Challenger, you could just walk around the walkways, and you can just end up walking past like one of the big name players as you go. It's a really good intimate environment, and also you still get to see some really good high quality tennis being played as well. As Nadal hits a very short ball, Thompson comes to the net and actually smashes this one away for the point. So it's 40-15 to Thompson at the moment. So Thompson looking to make it 3-all at the moment. Thompson looking to make it 3-all. I see absolutely packed crowds in Australia, as you would expect. Goes up the line, no luck there. Goes C, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, down the line, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal cross court, forehand by Thompson at the line, forehand by Nadal cross court, backhand by Thompson, just enough. Rafa comes into the court, and an inside out forehand winner. Excellent. Absolutely excellent on that one there. Rafa just worked the point incredibly well, got the short ball that he needed from Thompson, and came into the court to finish him away. Ashley thinks that Thompson may win a set. That could very much be a possibility. It's currently 40-30 to Thompson at the moment. Still looking to close it out to get it to 3-all. See that Rafa is already sweating very much a lot already. Thompson goes up the line, backhand by Rafa, but it was long, but that serve was out. So onto a second serve. Oh, that was poor by Thompson. hits it long of the service box, and it is about down to deuce. Terry saying Thompson beat Steph at the beginning of last year. He did, didn't he? Yeah. That was because he was the second player for Team Australia, wasn't he? When the United Cup set a 5-person format. That is wide of the box there. Actually asking, whereabouts in the UK do you live? I live in Guildford, which is just outside of London. It's in Surrey, so it's very much near Surbiton. So just literally half an hour up the train tracks. Hence the reason why I talk about being able to go there. I've been to Queens as well, and Wimbledon a fair few times. Is there fairly close, and of course you have to get to Wimbledon at a point. Thompson, though, with a brilliant ace down the line there, just takes some of the pressure off straight away. Jordan hits the net on the serve, and it goes wide of the service box, so onto a second serve. Up the tee. Forehand by Nadal down the line. Brilliant forehand down the line by Nadal. Oh, he just connects with that beautifully and sails it down the line. Thompson left with his feet stuck in the quicksand, it felt like. That's good to hear you got cousins living in Guildford, Terry. So Thompson goes up this line, back forehand by Nadal, but not enough connection on that by Rafa. Just trickles off his racket effectively there, so it is advantage Thompson. Some lad in the crowd who's yawning. He's sitting right next to one of the players' boxes as well. I think, see, Ashley, you're a big Jordan fan. You really want him to win at the moment. Jordan goes cross court. No luck there on the cross court. Tries to go out wide. No luck there on that shot. It's on to a second serve. Will Rafa punish his second serve like he did in the last point? Up the line. Forehand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Backhand by Rafa cross court. Back forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa down the line. Backhand by Thompson into the net. That was almost like a clay court shot on that point there. Nadal was able to get so much height on that ball on the way in which it hit off the court that Thompson was left flailing, trying to get his backhand, trying to attempt to get the backhand from above his head. Excellent point construction by Rafa there. Actually saying 50% service not good enough, but it isn't when you're playing Rafa Nadal, who is a fantastic returner. You need to be getting much more first serves in. Really make Rafa think. Down the tee, forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa cross court. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa cross court again. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa cross court. Forehand by Thompson. Thompson's flailing around the place here. Backhand by Thompson. Rafa, though, hits it long. He was in control of the point throughout there and just hits the final shot long. Oh, he will not be happy about that one there. He will not be happy about that at all. Yeah, you could just tell with the way that came off the racket that it just had too much height on it and he just pushed it along the baseline. So Thompson tries to go up the tee, hits the net onto a second serve. Where have we seen this before? I wouldn't say age, Ashley. I wouldn't say age. Shouldn't affect that. Goes up the line again. Backhand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal. Oh, long as well. He's just pushed that too much on those 2 points. He's just pushed the ball too much. So Thompson was able to get himself out of that service game when there certainly was the potential for there to be real problems taking place. We're very pleased about that. He really isn't happy about something as well. It is now 3-3. 3-3. Just to give it a bit of a score update in Hong Kong, Andrei Rublev is 3-2 up and is a early break up in that match there. Yeah, it was a big 10-minute game. So Nadal goes down the tee. Chokes up Thompson there with a body shot, and Thompson just left flailing on that return. Nadal comes into the net and swats away the forehand swats away the forehand winner cross court just to leave Thompson flailing. 15-love to Nadal. This is certainly turning into a decent bit of Friday night entertainment for the fans down in Brisbane. So Nadal goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, backhand forehand by Nadal into the net as Thompson rushed him there. So Nadal was left at the back court. Thompson saw the ability to come forward to the net as Nadal was trying to at least get something on a return, and unfortunately Nadal just hits it into the net there. Ashley, you're saying if Rafa wants to win Australia, got beat Thompson easily here to make it harder work than it should be, don't you think? It's an interesting point you're making there, because on paper, somebody who's ranked 55 in the world, if you're looking to win the Australian Open, you should be putting them away, certainly in straight sets, and certainly with like two breaks in those sets. But then you've got to factor in the fact of the player he's playing against. You know, it is a Australian player. As this is really good play from Rafa. Oh, an attempted drop shot by Thompson. No luck on that one as Rafa goes to, I think it is 30-15. A good bit of net play there by Rafa. So, you know, on paper, you would expect you'd be wanting to beat somebody like John Thompson quite easily. But then you've got to remember that it is an Australian playing at home, so they will up their level usually anyway in those sorts of scenarios. And we're at the quarterfinal stage, which shows that Thompson's already got, you know, a bit of form coming into it. You know, and he is playing incredibly well. So, you know, sometimes these matches can be a little bit more tougher than you expect, or at least what you'd think would take place. But it is 30-15 to Nadal. Goes and does a body serve. Thompson is completely jammed up there and is unable to get anything significant on that racket, and it just trickles off that racket again. 40-15. 40-15. He is really agitated at the moment, Jordan Thompson. Terry thinking Thompson will fade. That is a possibility. I mean, if you're playing really well, you cannot, you know, it's very hard to keep it up for 3 straight sets if need be. Rafa goes cross court, forehand by Thompson, backhand down the line by Nadal, but forehand backhand by Thompson, cross court. What a backhand cross court. Oh, he was literally shoved to the corner there. It was do or die, and he did. And that was excellent there. So Rafa pushed it out wide. Thompson just about gets a return to it. Rafa comes into the court, backhand down the line. Thompson backhand cross court, the only place he could put it, and it just keeps it in. Pass Rafa there, brilliant passing shot winner with the backhand. This match is on this service game is still on. Cross court, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson, cross court, forehand by Rafa, cross court, cross court by Thompson, down the line by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, down the line by Rafa, forehand, backhand by Thompson, backhand cross court by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, who's now defensively. Thompson comes to the net, goes cross court and gets the winner. Oh, they were pushing each other from pillar to post with that game. Thompson, you bring in every single intellect or every single aspect of his tennis prowess to the court there. Absolutely epic, you could probably say there by Thompson. Had an epic performance to be able to try and get that point win back. Rafa was controlling that point for the majority of it. Thompson stuck in there, was able to find a way to neutralize the point, and then came in for the attack when it was possible. So Rafa goes down the tee, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, Forehand by Thompson. Oh, it's a poor forehand by Thompson. Unable to place his feet, and it just gets the poor connection with the racket in the process. Hits the net right at the bottom of the net, and as such, it is advantage Rafa. As we can see, we've got another person who has subscribed to the channel. We're at 5129. We want these sort of people that will see this tick counter go up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that. Rafa cross court, just misses the line there, just misses the line. Goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Rafa across court, but it's wide of the line. He just added too much to that. Just too rash by Rafa. Now at juice, this is much tighter than the Kubler match. Much tighter than the Kubler match. Let's get a shot of Rafa's team there. All on brand with their tops. Rafa goes cross court, hits the net, and as such pings well wide of the service box. Yeah, we've got another big game at 41 minutes on the clock at the moment already, and we're 3-3. Forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson, all at the back here. Thompson really pushing it, and he gets the mistake out of Rafa. Thompson's standard opportunity, hit a forehand up the line. Rafa left flailing and is unable to get any real connection onto it as it goes into the net, and Jordan Thompson has a break point. Jordan Thompson has a break point here. We are seeing a bit of a lack of a first serve by Rafa, which is he's really getting his second serve punished at the moment. So Rafa goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson, backhand cross court. Oh, hits the net, and Thompson gets the break. Jordan Thompson gets the break. He pushed Rafa. He had an excellent return on the second serve. Really pushed to the baseline. That instantaneously neutralized the point, and then Jordan was able to work an excellent forced error out of the Nadal racket. Jordan Thompson goes to the chair, being 4-3 in the lead. That is just an excellent bit of play there. See a brilliant backhand by Thompson, forehand by the Rafa racket, though unable to get anything proper onto it. Thompson, forehand cross court. Nadal doesn't judge where it's going to go properly and is left just flailing trying to get to it. Does a forehand return. It lands in good depth, though. Backhand by Thompson, backhand by Rafa into the net as Jordan rushes the net to force Rafa to try and hit a winner. And that seems to be a bit in the playbook at the moment of this match. Thompson rushing Rafa where he can to try and eke the mistakes out of the Rafa Nadal serve. Rafa's just taking on some fluids at the moment. Just getting himself into a position. Just entry list update news, Auckland update. So Manarino, Struff, and one SE spot have pulled out, and that means that Bonzi, Monfils, and Danielle have gone into the main draw for Auckland. With the removal of Monfils going into the main draw, that frees up a wildcard slot for the Auckland organisers. And next up is Gasquet. And of course, if Gasquet gets into the main draw, automatically he will also free up another wildcard to potentially go to maybe a New Zealander and whatnot there. It's an interesting bit of play taking place there. So Thompson with the serve goes down the tee. Forehand by Nadal, just keeps it in. Thompson flails at the low and then hits the net. Brilliant return by Rafa on that first serve. Gets a good return, gets a good bit of connection onto the ball. Hits, able to hit it cross court onto the tram line of Thompson, who's left having to really try and add pace or try and add a sense of direction to where the ball's going to go. So love 15 to Thompson. Cross court by Thompson attempt hits the net onto a second serve. If you're Thompson at the moment, you really need to make sure that you don't give this away after you've worked so hard for it. Forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, well wide by Thompson there. That was closely more to the backboard than it was the actual baseline. Love 30 to Rafael Nadal at the moment. Rafa's looking to get back into this as quickly as possible in his regard. He wants to break back now. Thompson goes to cross court, backhand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson. A cross court winner with the forehand by Nadal. That makes it love 40. Love 40 to Nadal. 3 break back points. Nadal just seems to be a little bit more locked in at the moment, and Thompson's losing his head as the Tad. Thompson came to the net, though, didn't do anything major with it. Rafa with just the easiest forehand cross-court passing shot to make it love 40. 3 break-back points here. So Thompson goes cross-court, forehand by Rafa, hits the net. But it was out on the serve by Thompson, so on to a second serve. Pressure mounts here for the Australian. Goes into the middle. Forehand by Rafa. Dink by Thompson. Rafa tries to get to it, though. It was a brilliant dink drop shot by Thompson. Rafa was behind the Brisbane sign when he hit the return. Really nothing that Rafa could have done with that to try and get to that ball there. He really was pushed back pushed back into the back of the court there. You see that running by Rafa that he's just unable to get to it. So second break point for Rafa to try and break back. Thompson goes cross court, backhand by Thompson. Thompson into the net, forehand by Rafa, cross court, and he gets the break back. It was a brilliant bit of play there by Rafa. Thompson tried to play the same type of shot. He tried to shove Rafa out. So with that shot, he shoved Rafa out wide. Rafa hits a return. Thompson comes to the net, tries to go for the drop shot again, though doesn't get good depth on it. Rafa able to get to it, and then a cross court passing shot winner. With the forehand, you can see him celebrating. We're back to 4-all. It is a vamos. It is a vamos situation. So we're now into the business end of this set. We are still 4-4. Thompson had the break, but got broken straight back. In quite what seems a bit more of an easier break than what Thompson had to do to get to it. So Rafa serving here. Goes up the line. Unfortunately, long on the baseline, so it is a second serve. 4-4. Rafa. We're looking to get the first point here. Goes up the line, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson down the line, backhand by Rafa. Long on the baseline, though, by Rafa, and it is love 15 to Thompson. 15 love to Rafa at the moment. Just getting a good shot of his box again. So Nadal goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal cross court. Thompson unable to do that as Rafa on that serve pushes Thompson out wide, and then is able to hit the return ball he got from Thompson to the other side of the court, and Thompson just unable to get to it. It's too much of a distance to be able to get to. 15-all. I wouldn't necessarily actually say lots of mistakes. I think there's been a lot of situations where there's been a lot of great play by both players to force mistakes out of each other. We've also some brilliant winners as well. I think the mistakes have mainly been on the lack of first serves by both players, really. As Nadal's going to be facing another second serve at the moment. Okay, Nadal goes at the tee, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal. Thompson's really in control of the point at the moment. Forehand by Thompson, down the line. Just a short one there from Nadal. Thompson was able to step in and put that one away. 15-30 to Thompson on the Nadal serve at the moment. Thompson looking to get that to break straight back again. He doesn't want to be letting Rafa get back in front in this set. Nadal up in the tee, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, backhand up the line by Nadal. Oh, he sells him a dummy. He really sells him a dummy there. Oh, it looked all the world on that return that Nadal was going to go across the court with his backhand, and Thompson thought that too. He started running that way, and Nadal just said, "You know what? I'll send it up the line instead, right to the back of here." All the weight on Thompson's body was already going towards his forehand, and unable to sort of switch it back to go for the backhand. Thanks, Matthew, with the stats there. Nadal goes up the line, forehand by Thompson. Nadal goes cross court, forehand by Thompson, no, and he hits it long. There was a chance there for Thompson, really. There was a chance. And he kind of knows that Nadal came forward, didn't really do much on an inside-out forehand cross court. And Thompson just, with the connection, just ends up hitting it long on the baseline. If he got a good connection on that ball, he would have won the point. And he knows he should have done better. He does know he should have done better on that point. So 40-30 to Nadal at the moment. He's looking to make it 5-4. Tries to jam him up with a body serve. Just goes long on the base of the service box onto a second serve. So Nadal goes out wide, but clips the net. So that was a let. So onto another second serve. Onto another second serve. So Nadal goes up the line, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, just a bit short. Thompson backhand, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, and a brilliant cross-court forehand by the Australian. Absolutely leaves Nadal stranded, making it 40 all, or at least juice. We're back to juice. He's really having to work for this Rafa at the moment. It is not being given to him. Bit of a pained expression by Rafa there. Bit of muttering to himself. Nadal goes up the line. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal cross court. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal on the other side. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand at the line by Nadal. Brilliant. It clips the line. It sails over the line there by Nadal. The return by Thompson fell slightly short. Nadal was able to at least step into the inside of the baseline and then just sails a brilliant backhand along the line. And it just skids on the way. Bit like a skipping stone. As you can see from this point, Nadal was the conductor, pushing Thompson this way and that, with the ball there on Thompson's return. Short in the court, backhand by Nadal for the winner. Advantage, Nadal. Cross court by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal again. An attempted lob, unfortunately goes long of the baseline, and that is now back to juice. And this is tight, as Rublev has taken the first set against Arthur Fils, 6-4. She's saying it is indeed a third 10-minute game. Nadal tries to go cross court, no luck as it hits the net. Rafael goes up the line, forehand there, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson into the net, and Thompson whacks his fives in frustration. Advantage Nadal. Thompson was only hitting 50% first serves, gets that up to 60%. He has a chance. Thompson's doing really well, actually, living with Rafa in a lot of the Rafa rallies and actually being the main aggressor in a lot of these rallies. So Rafa goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, really going cross court to cross court, and it's long by Thompson. It's long by Thompson on that backhand return. Nadal really happy with that one. 5-4 to the Spaniard. 5-4. Yeah, second serve point will need to be much better by Rafa, but that is a hold nonetheless by the Spaniard. And Thompson has gone to his chair. He does not look happy. He is muttering to himself again. As the commentators cut to a brilliant shot of a packed Rafter arena, or just on the outside of the arena. And Thompson will be coming out now to serve to stay in the first set. So they're just and we're just getting a lovely shot of the Brisbane area, some shots of the river, some houses with some big pools in the background, or at least like private beaches, shots of people drinking wine. It all looks very lovely. I know that what is it? The UK TV show I'm a Celebrity is filmed just outside of Brisbane, so we always see a lot of good shots of it in the UK of what Brisbane looks like. Second search as well. Thompson, yeah, please do hit subscribe if you are new. It'd be good to see that ticker go to 130 now. Actually, 130 would be excellent to see the ticker climb over 2. Got some very happy people in the crowds. Rafa's just asking some questions. I think he's been given a bit of a hurry up there by the umpire. Just getting his wristband sorted. Okay, so last time Thompson served, he got himself broken. Will Rafa will want to repeat the same thing again. Thompson goes cross court. It's an excellent ace on that point there. Up 15 love. Love to Thompson. As you can see, if you can let us know in the chat actually where you're watching this from, that'd be excellent as well. So Thompson goes cross court again, forehand by Rafa, hit wide of the baseline. 30 love to Thompson. This has been a very quick start by the Australian. Incredibly quick start by the Australian here. So 30 love at the moment. Thompson looking to get his service game over and done with fairly quickly. Tries to go cross court with that return. No luck as it hits the net. So on to a second serve. So Thompson goes at the line. Backhand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson again. Oh, and Rafa with an attempted switch up of places in the court Just hits it long of the space, long of the tram line. 40 love to Thompson. 40 love to Thompson. Hey, that's Salt Bay in the crowd. It could be. I think it certainly could be. I know we've seen shots of forehand by Thompson to make it 5-all. Jackie Dawson saying AU Melbourne. So we've actually got somebody in the chat who's watching from Melbourne. That's excellent to hear. I know. Just wondering, Jackie, if you got tickets sorted for the Australian Open, are you going to be going at some point in the, next week or the week after? Be good to hear. And I'm guessing it's all building up at the moment in Melbourne for the events that will take place starting on Sunday for the first time in the Australian Open history. The Australian Open will start on Sunday instead of Monday, sort of following on from the French Open, which start their Grand Slam on the Sunday as well. It is, of course, it's a backhand by Thompson into the net, making it 15-0 to Rafa. Like we said, it's following on from the French Open. We have 2 slams that are going to be starting on the Sunday, which is good if you not work at the weekend and you want to catch some of the start of the Grand Slam. Claire from London, it's good to hear, Claire. Very close to me. Like we said, if you could make sure that you put in the chat where you are from, that'd be excellent to hear where you're tuning in from, so we know how international we're getting. We've already gone all the way around the world for me, which is going to Melbourne, as Rafa hits the net to make it 15-all at the moment. And like we say, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. I'd like to see that ticker that's just below me go to 5130. It's all possible fairly soon. So 15-all at the moment. Rafa looking to serve to at least guarantee himself a tiebreaker. Tries to go down the tee, hits the net, second serve. Nadal goes down. Oh, double fault by Nadal. Thompson suddenly changed where he was standing quite last second as Nadal was in his service motion. Puts Nadal off. Nadal buries it in the net. 15-30 to Thompson. Nadal goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, but he's unable to do anything really with it, and it goes into the net. It was a thunderbolt by Nadal on that return on the third ball. $30-all at the moment. Thompson really putting the screws on at this point. As we can see, we've already had an hour's worth of play. Nadal tries to go down the line. No luck. Second serve. He does need to get his first serve sats up, it feels. And I only say that in terms of his numbers may be high, but they need to be higher if he wants to get through service games in a much more comfortable format. Because Thompson's just eating that second serve. Good forehand by Nadal. Thompson flailing at it, unable to get anything real contact on that return, and it is 40-30 Nadal. 40-30 Nadal. Just asking the umpire how long that was. Yeah, just left railing at the other side of the court there. Oh, just big sails on that one. Nadal goes cross court, jumps up Thompson, down cross court, forehand by Thompson, forehand cross down the line by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, down the line attempt by Rafa, but into the tram line. Another attempt to go there by Rafa is unsuccessful. Thompson really hanging in here, Jordan. Nadal goes down the line. Perfectly places it down the line there. It literally hung to the tee point throughout the entirety of that motion. Excellent serve by Nadal there. Johnson in position. Nadal goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson into the tram line. Though it is long, and Nadal is 6-5 into the lead. He has guaranteed himself a tiebreaker. He's guaranteed himself a tiebreaker, and I know he's going to have an attempt to attack. That's not even a word. To attack the Thompson serve. He's going to have an attempt to attack the Thompson serve next. Any more things in the chat? Let me know it'd be good to know where you are listening in from on this. Well, for me, what is a murky, it's a very overcast January morning in the UK. We're just 20 minutes off being midday my time. Leroy says 2 sets only. You think it'll be done in 2? Now, given the level that both players are showing, there was grounds to suggest that whoever wins the first set could just walk away with the second, as you would find it hard for the other opponent to be able to keep up a level going into a second set. But of course, one of these people is Rafael Nadal, so anything is possible. Anything is certainly possible. Get himself sorted there. Leroy, it's in your London born. Whereabouts in London, though? Do you mind me asking? Just sort of the Bush Borough area. Just curious. I'm Grimsby born, if that's anything to add. So, sort of Lincolnshire, Yorkshire area for me. Sort of born thing, but then live in Guildford at the moment. So Thompson goes cross court, wide of the tram line onto a second serve. Just looking a little bit perplexed. Forehand by Rafa. Thompson at the net. Oh, Thompson unable to get anything on that drop shot. Doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't even go over the net. It just drops short on his own side of the court, and he was right by the net as well. So it's love 15 to Nadal. Islington, the best borough. Oh, so we got a North London, got a North London guy there in Leroy. The best borough. Thompson goes cross court. It was just wide. Second serve here, I believe, although Nadal seems to be going even further back behind the service box. Oh, and he hits the net, Thompson. He hits the net. The pressure is getting to the lad. He is love 30 down. Second double fault of the match for Jordan. Half chance here for Nadal to get it sorted before needing to go to a tiebreaker, as another serve clips the net and goes wide there by Thompson. Nadal is standing so far back at the moment, it is untrue. Thompson goes to see. Forehand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand by Nadal as a lob. Thompson has to trek back a bit. Goes for the smash. Backhand by Nadal up the line. Backhand by Thompson. Sliced by Nadal. Sliced by Thompson into the net. And it is 3 set points for Nadal. 3 set points for Nadal here. In a set in which Jordan has been knocking, he has been huffing, he has been puffing, and he has attempted to blow the Rafa house down. Rafa here could what effectively could feel a bit like nicking it right at the end. Rafa's doing everything in his playbook to get this break. Thompson goes cross court. Forehand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Back forehand by Rafa, but Thompson comes to the net and pushes it away with a forehand there. He saves 1 of 3 set points. Oh, it is getting tense here at the moment. Second set point here. Rafa's in position. Where does Thompson send this? Down the tee. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson into the net. And Rafael Nadal takes the first set against Jordan Thompson. 7-5. 7-5. In a set in which Jordan was a break-up at 4-3. Rafa was able to wheel off. Rafa was able to wheel off 4 of the next 5 games to take the set 7-5. He's just taken his bag. He's going to go do a kit change, and I will admit I'm going to go. I just got in it to the loo as well, so you're going to see a quick break from us. But he's just making sure that the umpire, because of what happened yesterday and him not getting back enough time, that he's going to get enough time to be able to do that. Like I said, I'm going to nip to the toilet now as well, and then we'll be back for the second set.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
There we go. We've all had our breaks bit there. We've got John that's popping in as well to sort of discuss that set.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now there, John.
Yeah, I'll just sort of have a couple of minutes with you while we have a Rafa off court moment once again. I think Damien's going to be joining as well shortly, so you'll have some company for sets 2 and who knows, maybe 3. That was a set that whoever ended up losing it was going to have some regrets, I think, because Jordan certainly had his chances. I mean, we just saw at one point Rafa was 20% points won on second serve. I think he may have improved that slightly, but from the first game or after the first game where Rafa held quite comfortably, we never saw Rafa looking comfortable on serve from that moment onwards. And actually those stats regarding the first serve that Matthew also highlighted in the chat, I was actually a bit surprised that Rafa had won as many as about 76% as it turned out at the end of that first set on first serve. I think what I was highlighting to Matthew was that even when Rafa was winning those points on first serve, Jordan was in the rally, and it was a Jordan going long or Jordan netting that was ended up gifting a relieved Rafa on many occasions. Anyway, I also, though, want to flip it in terms of sort of just saying how well Thompson was doing on those second serves. I mean, it was Caroline Garcia-esque on those returns, and we'll keep an eye on that in the second set. And that might be something, by the way, that other players might adopt. That I do think that second serve, maybe more than ever, is very attackable, and that's something that Rafa's going to have to improve upon when he starts coming up against some of the best returners in the game, whether that be Holger, for example, which could be a potential finalist. And I think that would be particularly tricky for Rafa, but I think Safiullin would be too. But the other thing I want to just highlight before I'm sure Damien gives us his thoughts, and I can just see him now, is that Rafa had his chances too. And in the first 6 games, probably should have done a lot better on the second serve from Jordan. I remember a few times Rafa having a really comfortable return and hitting it long, or the forehand going into the tram line. So Rafa was having chances and not taking them. Thompson grew in confidence, but ultimately on that set point, Jordan just felt a bit more tentative. And then in one moment, that tentativeness can also be, you can be aware of it, and then you're like, okay, I need to break this tentativeness, and he ends up putting the backhand into the net. Hey, Damien.
Hello. Yeah, I think there had to be like a bit of a down-to-earth performance for Nadal. I wasn't exactly expecting him to win this event and then the Australian Open, which some people on Twitter have already given him, which is possible. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying it won't be he won't be dominating every single match from now on. I think it's perfectly fine.
I mean, you make a good point about probably people on Twitter. I mean, I know there'll be a lot of Rafa, huge Rafa fan accounts out there that will be taking, a win against Team and a win against Kubler as signs that the old Rafa is back or whatnot there, and that we're going to see a 2022 repeating itself with winning the 250 build-up and then going on and winning the actual event itself. But no, I mean, the key point that John made, that second serve return looks so vulnerable. It is very concerning at the moment in terms of how attackable it is. I mean, you just walk on into it and you really go for it. And it very much seems at the moment that defensively, Rafa isn't able really to live with any player that is really going on the attack and is having to try and stay either neutral or at least the main aggressor in every single point to be able to win the point, really.
Yeah, and that would be pretty tough for him to handle at the Australian Open for sure, especially in the long format. He's 37 now. So, some optimism is definitely there, but some people are already exaggerating. But basically, I think everyone has already handed him the French Open title at least. I don't know about it, because the competition is also getting stronger.
Yeah, as I say, that tournament's going to take place in 6 months from now. Like, we're still miles away from ever thinking about what's going to happen in Australia, happen in France. I just find that a bit bizarre that people are already saying online that he's going to win the French Open. Even a half leg Rafa is going to be semi-competitive at Roland Garros. I mean, it's just a different Rafa that always shows up for that competition. But it's you can't be handing that out just yet.
Yeah, even if you're playing him in Brisbane here, let's say the semis against Dimitrov, the final against Rune, I don't really like his chances to beat both of these players, but that's already a great comeback event, of course, so far.
Yeah, the first one's going to be Dimitrov. I know that he's got a fantastic record against Dimitrov, and that's going to be the major yardstick. If he comes for a match against Dimitrov, then we can say that actually there is green shoots of a potential, at least big run available for Rafa. But, at the moment he's playing an inspired Jordan Thompson. Yes, at the moment I know he just started playing and it's 30-love up to Rafa at this stage. But, and it'd be interesting to see how well Jordan can really recover from this. I mean, that is the other side of the coin of that first set, was that Jordan was playing outstanding levels of tennis. I mean, I've never seen Jordan played that well throughout a match, as he just falls to the ground a bit there, loses his footing as he goes to 40-love. But yeah, it's, the way in which he was able to attack the Rafa second serve, the way he was able to at least turn points around, the ease in which he could hold some of his points. But it was just a situation of a player of his caliber, and no offense to the lad, but in those big pressure situations, when he was a break up, when he was having to serve to get it to a tiebreaker, he faltered, and a sort of that lesser level ended up coming to the forte, as Rafa just holds himself fairly comfortably there, 1-love.
Matthew was asking about Fils and Rublev, and that's why I decided, because I wasn't watching it, I was watching a couple of challenger matches a second ago. But yeah, basically I rewind to watch these two breaks, and honestly, nothing is happening. He's just getting outplayed. Fils is flying on his backhand side usually, and just jumping from forehand to forehand as he can do most of the time.
I know that Rublev's match yesterday against friend of the show, Liam Brody, was Rublev was able to take the first set fairly. Okay, there was some hiking ups here and there from Rublev, but he did sort of fall away at the beginning of the second set, and let Liam sort of gain a little bit of daylight before pegging him back afterwards. It may be a case of that match of it going to a third set, and of course, Arthur Fils is the one of the ones to watch this season as a young player, coming up and seeing what big results he could have.
Yeah, I mean, Liam just horribly choked when he was serving for the second set, but he was right there with Rublev for the most part, at least. But yeah, I mean, Fils is a better player than Andrei Rublev. There, I said it. Thank you. If he executes his game to the absolute maximum possible standard, he is a better player already than Andrei Rublev. Sue me.
No, I don't think we'll sue you, Damien. I don't think anyone on this channel could afford to be sued. But we'll go off that one.
Yeah, it's better. It's better. That sort of a suit is better than a copyright infringement, at least. So, because that doesn't hurt the channel, that hurts only me personally.
That's right. You were saying you're watching some challenges. What's taking your fancy from the challenger circuit this week? I know that there's some big ones in Canberra and in New Caledonia.
Yes, New Caledonia. Actually, I was just watching Kazo against Mayo, the rematch of the 2020 Australian Open boys singles final. Kazo is going to play Kwako in the final now. Kazo actually defends quite a lot of points because last year he was playing that Nontaburi swing and made one final, won a title. Of course, this year he has a very different route because he's playing the Australian Open with a major wildcard. So I guess, the French are happy that they gave it to him now that he's made the final as well and will be the favorite over Kwako. In Canberra, there was a great semi as well between Nakashima and Menchik. Menchik claiming that one and starting his 2023 on such a high note. This Canberra draw, as you said, is stacked, but he actually had it pretty easy. He beat Yevseyev and Hassan, I think, in the first two rounds. And then he got a walkover from Richard. So getting that win over Nakashima is definitely a step up.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some interesting things about Menchik. People thinking he's going to have a real big season this year, as a bit of a young pretender from Croatian tennis.
I subscribe to that church for sure. And if he's every bit as good as today.
I mean, I remember watching his match last year in the Challenger against Jack Draper. I think it was the one just after Orleans. I've forgotten what it was called. It had a very long name. It was Molinleaf did something or other.
Menchik Draper?
Yeah, there was a Menchik Draper match at there.
That was a match, really?
I think I could be confusing him for somebody else. I think there could have been another Croatian. Probably, actually.
Menchik is Czech, not Croatian. Draper Prismic, Draper Prismic, I remember very well. Yeah, it was like a 3-hour battle with a Roma Captif. Yeah, but Draper Menchik, I don't think it happened. Yeah, the very different play styles though. Prismic Menchik. So Prismic, of course, against Draper, he was just playing 60-shot rallies against him. Jack was already dead after the previous week. Then, of course, next round he loses to Lucas Poulin. But Menchik has a much more power-oriented game, and I think has a much stronger chance to break the top 100 this year and go even maybe deeper. But of course, it's just the first week of the year. Still, a win over Nakashima is absolutely huge. Now he's going to play Dominik Kepfer, who actually was his rival in the only challenger final that Menchik has had so far in Prague last year. So. Bit of a fun story there. Yeah, we also have Nontaburi, which finished, and Luca Pui is in the challenger final. which could be quite interesting to a lot of people as well.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
going to play Valentin Vacheron.
The Monegasque player. That's good for Monegasque tennis. And it both qualifies for the event as well. I've just had a look. That's
Yeah. Non-Taburi has been like this over the years. In 2022, there were 3 non-Taburi challengers, and all of them were won by qualifiers. It was actually Vacheron was actually one of them. Then I think it was Arthur Cazot and Stuart Parker. So Stuart or Scott, I never know, because one is a footballer, one is a tennis player. Stuart, I think.
Stuart Scott, and then there's the one in Europe as well in Oreiras,
Yeah,
which is in Portugal.
Yeah.
There's a Challenger 50. Thompson, though, is just back to this. It's 1 game all, and currently Thompson is love 30 up on the Nadal serve at this point. So Thompson is really looking to sort of get an early break here, if it's all possible.
Might be the best point of the match from Rafa, honestly, though.
Do wonder if Rafa needs to do it in 2. Forehand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Thompson cross court by Rafa and forward backhand. Really working each other here. Slice by Thompson, forehand by Rafa again, backhand by Thompson, cross court by Rafa, keeps it in. What a brilliant forehand inside out cross court winner there by Rafa Nadal.
Oh, yeah, a bit of that same old like. You slice against Rafa, you lose the point.
Yeah,
more or less.
The only slice that's ever going to work against Rafa is a cake slice.
Do you think he enjoys it? Maybe. I don't know.
I think Rafa likes the cake. I could see him as a Madeira cake fan.
Yeah, that's not good for Jordan Thompson, obviously, because slicing is such a big part of his game.
No, he's a natural grass courter, Thompson. So yeah, he loves bringing in the slice to his game style.
I've said it many times, but Andy Murray and Jordan Thompson play the same tennis on grass.
Oh gee, that was a brilliant match as well. They played against each other at Surbiton last year as well. When they played.
Yeah, and then Thompson also scored the biggest win of his career against him.
Yeah, as well. And
a bit of a more
Queens,
painful,
wasn't it?
Yeah, Queens a few years.
20, was that 2017, if I remember correctly?
17 or 18, I'm not sure.
17 or 18, yeah.
One of these for sure.
30 all at the moment. Rafa's at least saved some of the momentum. Just saying, it's so good to see such packed crowds as usual in the Australian in the Australian events that we're seeing this week.
Yes, Matthew Menchik is the guy that reached the third round at the US Open, played Fritz on his 18th birthday. And also, what do you make of Tiafoe losing to Shank? This is actually a match that I didn't see because I was commentating on Ostapenko Azarenka until like 5 a.m. And I wanted to go to bed to wake up for Tiafoe Shank. But of course, that didn't really pan out for me. And this is the only one I really regret because I still managed to catch the 2 Challenger semifinals that I wanted. It's just Tiafoe Shank that I missed out on. So yeah, I cannot really comment on that. Of course, that's amazing for Yuncheng that after 2 marathons, he's still able to compete, given what was happening to him last year for the most part in terms of the fitness, the mono as well. And also the fact that he lost to Tiafoe twice last year and was very comfortable for Francis both times. So seems like an amazing win on paper. And of course, the rest of the draw is also fairly the competition isn't going to be that hard, but the top half with Shank, Rublev, Fields, that looks like the sort of place to be right now. And for a player, it's actually not the place to be because that seems a lot more competitive than Ofner, Rusov, Wari in the bottom half.
As we just had an absolutely epic rally taking place for Nadal to say break point there. Pushing each other this side and that. All 4 corners were hit on multiple occasions of that rally, and Thompson just unable at the end to get anything on. A brilliant Rafa coming into the point. He had backhanded it, tries to do a lob, and it just goes wide of the tram lines there. There was just a quick question by Matthew again about what's happened in the United Cup. So Germany have won the deciding tie 6-3, 6-3. That was Laura Sigmund and Alexandra Zverev beating Maria Sakkari and Petros Tsitsipas, the second Tsitsipas. So that then means that Germany are through to the semi-finals. They're through to the semi-finals in that competition. So that then means that tomorrow it will be, first of all, Poland versus France, followed by Australia versus Germany. As Thompson hits the ball long there as well. So Rafa goes advantage points up. Who do you think then's going to be the ultimate victor of the United Cup then, given it the 4 teams that we've got left?
I just wanted to say that basically, I guess since Petros played, then that probably means that Steph was feeling the back injury again, because I think that did lower their chances. Even though Petros is, of course, a pretty decent doubles player himself in the top 100 now. But yeah, when it comes to the United Cup, I will stick with my pre-tournament pick, which was Poland. And it's not really a bias, but like that's what I thought was the strongest team at the start of the event. Maybe Hurkacz has looked slightly worse than I expected. Not against Zhang, but in the first 2 matches. But Świątek, of course, is like a machine right now. So yeah, I mean, I would still stick with that. They're playing France. It's actually quite tricky. Garcia, one of the worst, like stylistically matchups for Świątek on the tour. Beijing, of course, last year was one of the best matches of the season between them. Hurkacz Manarino, Hurkacz usually struggles against him as well. But even if they win one singles, I think they'll be, well, at least 50-50 in the doubles. And it's a tricky one, France, for them, I think. But the final might even be easier.
Certainly
the final could be easier than this, I think.
Yeah, certainly could be on that one there. I mean, I know Manarino, I think famously was it a couple of years ago, beat Hurkacz in Australian Open. So
yes,
maybe there
Paris as well. It's 2-all in the head-to-head against them. Like Manarino is a bit of a nightmare for Hurkacz because, of course, Hurkacz has that wonky forehand where he can't accelerate off a lower ball really. And Manarino is all about giving you the lower ball and the flat shots that don't really bounce. So I do think it's very tricky. Like he'll have to be very patient about choosing his opportunities to attack. No, Paris was when Hurkacz beat him. He lost to him in Miami last year and the Australian Open, of course. You're right.
No,
Paris was actually a win. Yeah.
Manarino is feels like one of the most dangerous players to have on the tour at the moment.
He does, although Ruud handled him pretty easily, but of course it's very different, like matchup wise, it seems at least. Although Manarino was leading the head-to-head against Kasper Ruud before the match, but then it was actually outplayed quite easily.
I think people wanted another score update. Hong Kong is now 1-1 so Feast won the second set 6-1. And it looks like Rubev's about to just go 1-0 up in the set in the third, but they'll be on serve there anyway.
Maybe Angelique Kerber can finally get a win because it seems like she's been playing pretty well, but not quite getting there. Yeah, although today she was demolished, so okay, never mind. I slept through that, so I haven't seen the score. I knew that Sakkari won 2-0, but I hadn't seen the score yet. And wow, 6-0, 6-3 is quite harsh.
At the start of the second set, got to 3-love Sakkari, and then Kerber was able to at least bring it back to 3-2. But then Sakkari just sort of found a gear again, and then went on and won it. Won all the rest of the games there. Do you think
the United Cup sucks? It's gonna be a match between a player ranked 292 and an unranked player in the semifinals. Of course, that's a very different situation for both of them. But that when you look at the ranking.
But they're 2 fan favourites, so it should be interesting. As Nadal tries to lob, no luck there, 15-all on the Thompson serve. So just going back, actually, because you said about the Tsitsipas's, are you concerned about Steph for Australian Open, given the fact that he's only really played 1 or 2 matches in the United Cup, had to sit out one of the ties originally, and then also when he was in the that team competition before Christmas, he only played 1 day out of the 4 for that competition as well.
I'm concerned. I would be concerned about him at the Australian Open without the injury. I think he's in real trouble soon. Of course, 1,200 points about to drop. Last year he was not playing, like at least at year end, he was not playing like a top 10-ish player even. So yeah, I think Tsitsipas will have a very hard time recovering from this to get to like back to let's say a big title winning level. Maybe on clay, maybe Monte Carlo again, but yeah, currently I'm not too high on Stefanos Tsitsipas's chances to win slams in the future or something. I think without the Australian Open points right now, he would be ranked about 11th, 12th, and recently that's been a pretty relevant depiction of his well, maybe not abilities but form. In the long run, I guess I would still expect him to make the top 8 at the end of the season, maybe, but yeah, it's getting rough for him. He has horrible matchups with Rune and Alcaraz. Sinner is also going to start beating him sometime soon, so
just quickly, and
yeah.
we'll go back to this competition topic. Nadal has got 2 break points on the Thompson serve at the moment. Thompson hit with a couple of mistakes. Let's just see if Nadal is able to capitalize here and get to 3-1. I think this, a potential drop in level by Thompson was kind of expected, but it's interesting to see it's taking place maybe a little bit earlier in the match. But let's see if Nadal can capitalize. So Thompson goes cross court, backhand by Nadal, but that is long on the baseline. So that was a very good serve by Thompson there. Saves the first of the 2 break points. So we'll move over to the second break point. As we can see, also that Thompson has his compression sleeve already well fitted to his hand as well. So he's just getting himself into position. Break point number 2. Nadal, well behind the Brisbane sign, as you'd expect. Goes down the tee, just wide of the mark. So we're to a second serve. I always feel for the camera guys when the players stand so far back because they have to pan out so much. Okay, Thompson goes down the tee again. Forehand by Thingy. Forehand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal again. He's really looking to keep into this. Backhand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand by Nadal again. Slightly short there. Forces the slice. Oh, and that slice was perfect by Thompson. It had so much slice on it that it basically went nowhere once it dropped just short of the net on the Nadal side. And Nadal was unable to get anything to it. So we're back to juice. Back to juice here. So yeah, like you were saying about Tsitsipas on that one. As you say, he would drop down to 11th if he doesn't defend any points. And yeah, it's not looking good for Steph at this point in terms of will he makes the big question whether he'll be able to make top 10 by the end of the season. Really, do you think he will do?
Yeah, I think the top 10 over the course of the year, like he's bound to pick up some better results in the second half, even if he doesn't defend the Australian Open final. Probably more of a question for me whether he makes the ATP finals or not, rather than the top 10, I would assume. But, who knows? But yeah, like long-term prospects not looking that great for now, and it's more a reflection of the competition getting stronger as well. Matthew also suggesting that they could replace Kerber with someone, which is interesting. I mean, is Laura Siegemund right now a better player in the singles than Angelique Kerber? That's only for the captain to decide. Honestly, I don't feel like we can make a good call on that. Like we haven't seen them practice. Obviously, maybe Kerber is looking amazing in practice, but just cannot take it to the matches. But even what happened today was an indicator that they may be thinking about something like this. In the doubles, they didn't field Kerber Zverev. They actually ended up going with Siegemund Zverev.
No, which I
think was probably done after the singles performance of Kerber, given that in the previous matches, which were also important, of course, in the groups, they were always going for Kerber Zverev, who used to play the United Cup with each other as well.
Yeah, so just a quick thing as well. Another brilliant rally by both players there, pushing each other this way and that, and Thompson hits the net. So we are at another break point for Nadal. Another break point for Nadal. I've just seen the serve clock tick down here. What will happen here? Will Nadal make it 3 times lucky? Forehand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand cross-court by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson. Really acute on that. Nadal just gets to it. Thompson comes to the net and puts away the forehand volley with ease. Back to juice there. Oh, Thompson really having to find his A++ game at the moment to try and stick it out here on his serve. goes along there as well. It's good to see as well with the subscriber count that it's ticking up. We're up to 5132. So, our aim hopefully is to get to 6K by the end of the Australian Open, which is only now what we're looking at 12 days away. What do you make of the fact we're going to have a Sunday start for Australia, Damien?
Cool. I don't really mind it. The French Open does it like this, and it will just allow us to watch more matches. So I'm more than okay with this. Literally, the first 2 days of a slam in the normal system, you just don't know what to do with your eyes, with your screens, and with your computers, iPhones, tablets, iPods, maybe not, but iPads, whatever. I'm okay with it. I think it's absolutely fine. Gives a bit of leeway as well in terms of like the tournaments that will finish on Saturday. If the players are in the top half or bottom half or whatever, then you can schedule them on the next day as well. So there's like a little bit of space for the tournaments on the first 3 days to manipulate the schedule. See who plays Sunday, Monday, see who plays Monday, Tuesday in respective halves. I don't think I really mind. Of course, Sunday from like a broadcasting perspective is pretty huge as well. So I think that's probably the main reason that the tournaments were sort of missing out on a potential Sunday great spot in a TV on TV. So I think it should help. The event should help tennis in the long run. I don't know if it's that impactful, but it's a small positive, and I would expect that maybe the other slams follow along at some point.
It's I tend to agree in terms of I'm quite happy that it starts on a Sunday, and I'm guessing a lot of fans around the world will be happy as well, because it's a little bit of a down of the fact that usually slams start, or these tournaments start on a Monday, or at least slams start on a Monday when everybody's usually at work and they can't really watch the first bit of action that takes place. And as you say, there's so much going on on the first couple of days, because you've got 60 what is it, 128 matches
in 2 days,
in 2 days, which is a huge amount. I mean, I don't know how many screens you've got at home, Damien, that you can put like 4 or 5 matches on, but it's
I mean, at some point I stopped doing that, honestly, because I just felt like watching 4 matches at the same time, I don't actually watch them anymore. Like my eyes follow the ball and etc., but I cannot really understand what I'm seeing. So I basically stopped watching more than 2, max 3, because it just doesn't make sense. I don't feel like I can actually concentrate on the match, I don't know what was happening, what took place. So I basically stopped doing that. Right now, I really try to keep it 2 screens at max. Unless I'm absolutely forced to, which is the very rare case when 3 challenger finals are on at the same time.
To sort of keep up with all the good stuff that's happening there. So it's going to be. So I'm looking forward to the fact of a Sunday start, and also it feels weird as well when you like you say, you watch those finals take place on a Saturday, and then you get a whole day of nothing. It's like, this feels weird, and then straight into the huge amount of matches that then are taking place. I just hope there's a fair few matches that take place at least in the evening time, our time, so that we're able evening time Australia, so that we're able to watch them on the Sunday as well, because I know that the French they don't usually schedule it to go on as late as possible on the Sunday, and just be good to make sure we can be able to catch some matches and we don't have to rely on one match going on for 5 hours or whatnot to help the schedule for us.
Absolutely. So it's like 16-20, around 16-20 matches on either side for the first 3 days. So I think it really only helps tennis, and that was a good point that you made about the finals on Saturday and then the day off, which didn't really benefit anyone. So
no, Rafa is currently 30-15 up at the moment on his own serve. Thompson did hold his serve in the end. Rafa, though, is just doing his bits up the line. Thompson unable to get to that. 40-15 to Nadal.
John says that Rune will eat up this serve from Rafa. But yeah, how
Probably.
about Grigor? Matthew is there about with the Grigor question, and I don't think that the 14-1 head-to-head really applies, at this point in time.
No. I mean, interestingly, Rafa, we're winning the 2 matches he has recently. What was he? Was 665 in the world. He's currently at around about 450 in the world at the moment. So he's cut his ranking down by a third already, which is always good. And he would get breaking to the world's top 400 with a win here today.
Yeah, if he won the title, he would be back to like top 200. Of course, that still wouldn't give him passes to ATP Tour events. He's gonna have a wild card for everything, though. He also has a protected ranking, obviously. So
yeah, he's got 12. He's got 12 of them a lot. He's used one for Australia, hasn't he? I think it was a wild card this week.
Yes. Wild card in Brisbane and a protected ranking for Australia. His protected ranking being number 9. But that means that he can actually play Novak Djokovic in the first round. He can play Carlos Alcaraz in the first round. He can play Daniil Medvedev.
Imagine that. Djokovic first round.
Djokovic Nadal, yeah.
Just as long as I mean that would be a nuts one to see whereabouts in the draw those two would fall. I mean that would be well, I would say it would be brilliant. It's sort of Djokovic in Australia, but granted, Djokovic with his potential wrist injury or wrist issues at the back end of that Demon Oil match.
Yeah, like honestly, however this event ends for Rafa, one of the main thing everyone wants to see about the Australian Open draw, one of the main things is going to be where Nadal lands. And that's mostly because of the fact that, he can land in any of the 32 seeds second round or first round. And it could be absolutely wild. It could be a Djokovic first round. It could be a Djokovic second round. It could be an Alcaraz second round, Alcaraz first round. If the draw is rigged, they'll probably give him something pretty easy. But
there'll be people on Twitter that will say that we all say this now, and the next thing you know, he's going to draw somebody like, and if I just get the list up here to make my slightly flippant point, if I can, he'll end up drawing either a qualifier or I don't know, Marin Cilic or Raonic or something, or Suwoo Kwon, who's ranked 196 in the world. In the first round.
Suwoo Kwon would be a very good draw for anyone now, but that's mostly because he was injured for half a year. But yeah, sure. I think he's gonna drop even more, right? Because he is defending that Adelaide was it? The one he won over Roberto Bautista Agut. So he's actually facing a massive drop soon.
Yeah, he's getting a huge drop, Suwoo. I remember that tournament because he beat Draper in the semis.
Well, he has 296 points at the moment, which means that he will basically drop to like 800 or something.
God, yeah, 500, 600 in the world if he goes down to 80 points.
Yeah, about 700, around where Jack Sock is at the moment.
Jack Sock. He's not retired yet. I thought he was gone to go play pickleball.
Yeah, he is, but he's still in the rankings. I just started scrolling down the list and I saw his name. That's why I brought him up.
Saw Jack Sock. There we are. There we go. Sock. The famed Paris Masters winner of that 1 year. And pickleballer. So Thompson, 15 love at the moment. Rafa still in the lead, 3-2 in this set. Good to see 2 more subscribers have added their names to the list, which is excellent. Thompson just hit the net.
Sasha Zverev is apparently Coco van der Wey's dark horse, according to Matthew. I think Coco has been doing some commentary this week.
Yeah, I watched that clip on the pop.
So it was a clip. Okay.
Yeah, she said it on obviously Tennis Channel US. They had her on, and she said, her dark horse is Sasha Zverev.
Number 6 in the world.
Yeah, I mean, can you call somebody who's a top 8 player a dark horse?
No, it kind of depends. Like if we had, and we actually do have like a very set top 4 for the event. So in a way, maybe, but no, I can't really call him a dark horse. And also where he lands is not going to be that vital, since basically it's just going to be one of the quarters of the first top 4 seeds, right? But no, I mean, personally, I try to stick like, at least below the top 8 or something like that. But
yeah, I mean, my understanding was that a dark horse was somebody who was unseeded. Is my definition of a dark horse. Like somebody who's good and who's going to cause problems for seeds, but isn't seeded themselves.
I guess there are different types of dark horses. There are dark horses for the 4th round, which would be probably the unseeded players. Like, I don't know, Pornagoyo made the 4th round at the US Open or whatever. And there are also dark horses for the title, which I guess Coco is going for.
Yeah, I mean, you could potentially look at somebody maybe outside the top 8 seeds as a dark horse in that scenario.
Has Zverev ever got past the quarterfinals at the Australian Open? Off the top of my head, I would say no, but I don't know.
I can't remember. I don't think so. No, it's I know. What was he? Semis at
one semi. Oh yeah, against Team, of course, 2020. So one semi. Yeah, because he has semis at all slams but Wimbledon, and 2020 that semi against Team was the only time. Yeah. We were just talking about it a few days ago, and I completely forgot.
Yeah, Team in that final in 2020 is only ever final in a Grand Slam, and realistically, you should have won that match as well. Team came back. But it's also, I believe Team as well. Team is he actually now into the main draw, or is he still actually on the qualifying list? I think he's still on the qualifying list.
No one.
He's one out. He's just waiting for one person. This is what's going to happen. Is that, and I know Tennis Talker on Twitter absolutely loses his nuts over this.
He loses his nuts over everything. But
there will be players. There will be players that will drop out as soon as the qualifying draw has been made, and then that will mean that Dominic will have to play qualifying instead of actually getting into the main draw proper.
Yeah, number 1 on the alternate list Team, number 2 Vatanuki, number 3 Alice. Maybe more probably cannot happen at this stage. But until the Australian Open qualifying draw is released, that's how long this can. I think maybe even until the first ball of the qualifying. But anyway, it's actually highly likely now that Team and Vatanuki will have to play qualies.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually, because usually we do get some dropouts at this stage. I know we've had a lot of women's draw dropouts that have taken place. I mean, Emma was 6 out, and now she's actually into the main draw for Emma Raducanu, and a couple more players have got in as well. So they're. I
think some of that is just the Australia factor, but as you said, on the other side, the Australia factor as in it's the start of the season, so more people will be healthy, less withdrawals. I think it happens every year, but at the same time, yes, as you said, on the women's side, we actually have at least a fair few. I mean, Muchova is the first one that comes to mind. I can't remember who else, but
and Keys dropped out.
Keys, yesterday, yeah.
Kvitova was on the list originally, but pulled herself up because she's having a baby.
Kvitova with the pregnancy, yeah.
Oh, good shot from Nadal. We're at 3-3 at the moment as well. I know we're talking about anything and everything now, Damien. I know it's still holding serve both of these two at the moment.
Begu as well, Katie McNally. I guess that's it.
Oh,
and Julia Grabber, but she wasn't actually... At first, she wasn't in the major list. She was an alternate who pulled out. But 6 players on the WTA side, none still on the ATP. So Team and Vatanuki at this point definitely biting their fingernails.
Yeah.
Vatanuki qualified last year, but he had to save too much points for it. So he'll know firsthand how tough it is to qualify. And Domi, of course, probably hasn't played slam qualies in some time, right?
Not that I can remember. I can't remember the last time he played slam. It would have probably been when he broke onto the tour.
Yeah, I think it would have been 2014 or something. So unless we're missing something stupid from last year, but I don't think he played qualies last year.
No, because he was main draw. He was main in. I mean, his ranking has been around about 190, 100 in the world for the past year. So he's always been able to get into the main draw of slams without any problems. But it's even with maybe the odd drop out here or there, but no, because it dropped below 100, it meant that he was, well, actually, no, he's 98, which because there's got so many people that are using protected rankings to get in. I mean, we've got Shapovalov, Kwon. I know Kwon probably not Kwon, but Shapovalov, Yuri Vesely, Kwon, Raonic, Nadal, Cilic, Opelka. We've got 5 players that are using protected rankings to get into the Australian Open. That it means that naturally they would have got in, but they wouldn't. I mean, I know Opelka was down. What was it? Played both Brisbane and Adelaide, but it's pulled out of both.
Opelka could actually pull out, but the question is whether he will do it before the qualifying draw or not. Yeah,
he's a bit of an arse, so I think he'll do it after. Sorry for any Opelka fans in the chat, but he is an arse. Let's get some another nice shots, and Nadal was able just to hold serve again. There, we're at 4-3, so they're trundling their way through the second set at the moment, and then Nadal will be wanting to get this sorted in too. They always do well with these little clips that they're doing for all the different cities to advertise it. I think certainly Tourism Australia are doing a good job there at making knowing that they've got a captive audience of worldwide viewers to show off they've got the wonderful country that is Australia. Ever been to Australia, Damien?
No, definitely not.
It's a place I want to go at some point. Certainly would want to time it with trying to get to one of the Aussie events, which would be awesome to do.
If someone funds me the ticket, sure. And that goes, by the way, for every single outside of Europe trip that tennis related that I could do. Like if there's a person in the chat who wants to give me the money for the plane ticket to Australia, yes, absolutely, I will fly tomorrow. But of course, no, that's not really an option at the moment.
Preferably business or first date, Damien?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really flown such a long flight ever. So
yeah, I'm going to get a bit getting on my. I've been a lot around Europe, and I've only been once across to the States to New York, okay. And but it's what is it then? It's but I'm going to be going on my longest flight to Dubai in March. I'm a teacher, so I'm only going on a school trip. So it's going to be getting used to going a little bit further afield, on an Emirates plane.
Yeah, I probably haven't flown for longer than like 2.5 hours. So.
Yeah, 4 hours. Usually 4 hours to Tenerife has been the usual longest time I've done. Which they've got 3 challenges playing again this year.
Yep.
Flew to Tenerife a few years back to watch. There was a WTA 250 that they did there for that 1 year. It's really nice going.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was won by Lou. She played Camila Osorio in the final there. It's a really nice little place that they have up for the challenger. There's not many things in terms of facilities up there, but they're very nice tennis courts dotted around a beautiful landscape. It's on the site of a Ritz-Carlton hotel resort, which is a huge resort they've got in the Alabama area of Tenerife.
So I guess it wasn't the same venue as the challenger then, or was it?
It's the same venue, yeah, exact same venue. Same venue, yeah. They obviously decided that they weren't able to get another license again for a WTA 250 and just sticking to the challengers for the men.
Oh yeah, it is the same venue. For some reason I thought it wasn't. But yeah, I don't remember a WTA event at all. That might be like the one event that's forgotten, Anli beating Camila Osorio in a hardcourt event as well.
Yeah. Lou beating Camila Osorio. It was in 2021. I think it was when it took place. I think a lot of it at the time as well, though, was the WTA just scrambling around for places to host WTA events.
Yeah. It was like this emergency event that a few of these have been hosted in recent years. I think it was actually during the Challenger as well, which Talon Grigspor won, and I did watch that quite a lot.
Yeah, it was. I think the Challenger was like the week before or the week after.
Oh, maybe a week before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't remember the WTA event at all. But anyway.
Yeah, my first attempt to go to a tennis event outside of the UK.
Why attempt? It didn't work out.
No, it worked. So my first attempt, one word. That's the wrong word. Just using it. First time going to a tennis event outside of the UK.
When you said attempt, it seemed like it didn't work out for some reason.
No, it didn't work out. It was a good time, and then I've been able to do a load more ever since. As the clock ticks over to 2 hours for this match. Nadal 4-4, 4-4 at the moment. Backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson. Up the line by Nadal. Sweet on the line. Goes for the smash. What a curve smash by Nadal there. He just about timed it wrong in terms of getting right under it proper. Had to lean back and got a brilliant curve smash on that ball. $15 love at the moment to Nadal. We said it's 4-4 in the second set, so we're certainly at the business end here. As I said, both players have been muddling through their service games as of yet. Nadal hitting some excellent shots at the moment. That takes it to 30 love. 30 love at the moment. Going along just there. Crowd seem happy as well with the shot. So Nadal goes up the line, clips the line perfectly, makes it 40 love. Thompson is in disbelief. Matthew saying that's really good. Actually, it's a good point. Actually, do put in the chat where you've been last in terms of maybe a main tour tennis event, or even the challenger event would be good to see where you've been heading off to as well. And or potentially where you would like to go. So Matthew's saying that Indian Wells is always seen as a top of a bucket list for tennis fans. It certainly is. Certainly a place I'd like to go to at one point. I know it always looks lovely on the TV. Would you ever want to go to Indian Wells, Damien?
Maybe. I mean, I don't really have much of a preference in terms of especially main tour events, but even challengers. Like I always say that I just enjoy tennis the same every single week, honestly. But yeah, at this point in time, I'm probably more interested in traveling to challengers. Would I decline if someone told me I'm going to give you an all expenses paid trip to Indian Wells? No. But if I have to fund it myself, I'd much rather go to a challenger.
Cool. I was just saying, I'm challenger things myself. I've been to Surbiton on a couple of occasions. The first grass court event there. That is an excellent tournament to be able to attend because you get to see all the first few days, all the up and coming Brit stars there, and all the sort of grass court tennis, which I absolutely love grass court tennis. And then I did actually go to Malaga, funny enough, to see a challenger that took place down there on a hard court. So I wanted to go to an outdoor hard court to actually watch a bit of tennis, and that was an
when was that
challenger there? That was back in October.
Oh, so this year.
This year, yeah. Oh, well, last year now technically, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny if the tennis club is right next to the indoor stadium where the Davis Cup takes place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's also next to a big athletics track as well. They've done quite well in terms of from a city planning situation where they kind of put all the major sporting stuff in like one area.
I keep mixing up all of these challengers in Spain. So was this the one where Bautista Agut and Carolina Busta retained?
Yeah, that was the two that they returned as two of the top seeds in that one.
Hugo Blanchet, I guess, won that one. That was a bit wild, but well.
Yeah, like all the seeds dropped. We got to the tour. I got to the tournament around about like semi-final stage, and like all the big names have been knocked out by that point.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a bit of a shame. I really wanted to see like Bautista Agut or Carolina Busta. But then, usually at challenges, the seedings rarely hold up.
Yeah, less often than on the ATP tour for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, in terms of less often that that you would see like the top 4 or 8 seeds being all in the latter stages of the tournament.
I switched over to Feast for a second, and he has a breakpoint chance now to break back at 2-4 down.
Nadal's 5-4 up in 9-1. Just he's 15-love down on Thompson's serve. Goes cross court, just hits the net. 30-love to Thompson.
It's an ace for Rublev though, so it was short-lived.
I mean, both players' first serves on the Nadal match have been very strong. So hits the net there. Thompson on his serve. Just got a second serve here. Thompson into the air, goes cross court, backhand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson into the nets, and that makes it 30-15 to Thompson still.
Yeah, speaking of strong serves, it was just Rublev 3 consecutive big serves to get himself out of this. So 5-2 up.
What's the score? 5-2, is it?
Yeah, very close to getting the match done.
I suspect if Rublev's able to win that match, he probably will end up winning the tournament. Would you say, given how the draw's
going? The quality of the players will go down a little bit, I guess, after fields. So this is a bit of an early final. Maybe Shang, maybe he's already this good at the beginning of the season. maybe he can give him some trouble. Ofner, Rusevori in a final, I don't know if I would trust their chances against Rublev.
No,
especially a lot more pressure on them. Even they're still seeking for the titles, and
it's I mean, it's good to see Rusevori actually going deep at a tournament. I know he was somebody who was looking like he was going to be able to do it a couple of years back, but he's kind of just plateaued almost in recent years.
Yeah, just been overall unimpressive the past 6 months or so for sure. So this is huge already.
What? It's 30-love on. It's now back to 30-love on the Thompson serve. It's cross court, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, and it's wide of the baseline, which means Rafael Nadal has a match point. He has a match point against Jordan Thompson here on the Thompson serve. 1 match point. You see his box is giving him a lot of encouragement. Thompson was 30-love up on his serve here, but Nadal has won the last 3 points. Match point here. Can Nadal do it on his first match point? So Thompson, ball into the air, goes cross court. Forehand by Nadal, cross court. Thompson comes to the net. Nadal just about gets to it, does a lob, lands in. Thompson goes for the lob as well. Nadal dinks it into the net, though. He tries to go cross court on his backhand on a lob, and he puts it into the net. So it is 2-2. The match point has been saved by Jordan.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy match point save if Nadal ends up winning the match. I mean, if Thompson ends up winning the match.
Yeah, I thought when Nadal got this lob in that he had this in his pocket.
Yeah.
But the Thompson goes for the lob as well. Nadal just unable to get it. If he got it over the net, he probably would have won that point there.
Yeah, Nadal's usually really good at these backhand overheads.
Just maybe still a little bit rusty. The cobwebs are still just need to be blown away. Cross court by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, but it's only into the net, so advantage Thompson. Blown a bit here, Thompson. He knows he's on a tightrope. Thompson just getting himself set. Nadal will know that he will still want to try and get it done here. Goes at the line, backhand by Nadal. That though hits the net, and we are at 5-5. 5-5 here in Brisbane. So Nadal is now serving to try and at least guarantee himself a tiebreaker. Has Rublev won in the end?
Not yet.
Not yet.
He's closed. He's at 2 match points now. And that's on Fiz's serve. So
Fiz's serve.
5-2. Yeah.
No, Rublev's done well chasing the appearance fee over in Hong Kong, it seems, at the moment. I know they put him a lot on centre court for his 2 doubles match with Kachanov at the beginning of the week. Good down the line forehand by Nadal there. Inside in on that one. Or outside in.
Yeah, and Rublev has just won.
There we go.
A bit of a missed opportunity, but at least he's won a set.
Yeah,
a quarterfinal.
The one thing that I give Rublev credit for, certainly last season, and it seems to be continuing at the moment. I mean, it was only one tournament, is that he used to be. You would certainly say in 2022 and maybe 2021, he would be a player that if you were an up and comer or you were looking for a big scout against a top 10 player, he would be one you'd be looking at. But he seems to have locked that down now. He's not losing to lower ranked players as much as he once was.
Yeah, I actually am a bit angry at him because at the same time he's not beating the higher ranked players as much as he once was. Like he's not that same guy who entered the tour as this, basically bloke who will enter a match and if his forehand is deadly, if it's peaking on the day, he's gonna beat anyone. He's now he's like he has a very high floor, but that peak level is like kind of gone. But of course, maybe it's better for him in the long run. It's just disappointing to me. Sort of similar with the Kachanov situation, where like they get onto the tour, they can actually beat anyone when they're playing well, and now they're just very consistent, but not really contending for like big titles. I know Rublev won a Masters 1000 last year and played the final at an ATP 1000, but like no, that's still. These were draws that opened up for him, and also like for a slam. It's of course we have different expectations from Kachanov and Rublev. Let's say that.
Yeah, I mean I don't really know what. I mean Kachanov's been quite fortunate that he's been able to get to 3 semi-finals, wasn't it, Lam, at one point in a 2-year period.
Well, fortunate or not, I mean he's also just able to beat everyone like on a regular basis until he runs into either like a true elite player or someone who's just peaking at that particular event, which is sort of what Rublev does. And at the slam stages especially, right, either losing to a huge opponent or losing to someone like Tiafoe, Cilic, who were just amazing on the day at the slam quarterfinals. So I see a lot of correlation between these two guys, Rublev and Kachanov. And of course, maybe for them it's better, but in terms of like my viewing pleasure, I don't really like the fact that they're so consistent, but at the same time they can't really go above their own level.
Yeah, their own station. No, I mean funny enough, actually, Rublev hasn't won a 500 title in a while as well, which used to be the fun caveat that was always placed against him.
Yeah, like 20-something wins, I think, in a row at that category. So
I think what was it? Dubai? Was it Dubai? Yeah, I think it was Dubai, wasn't it? 2022 was the last 500 title that he won.
Possible.
We know he got to the Dubai final last year as well.
Yeah,
I just remember having that brilliant 3-week run of winning every single match that he played.
Yeah, and we can even extend that to Sunshine Double, I guess, with just that one loss to Alcaraz in Indian Wells.
Oh yeah, because he was Miami, didn't he? Straight after.
Yeah.
Oh God, Thompson's really pushing to try and get break here. We're at juice at the moment. Cross court by Nadal, brilliant cross court by Nadal. Oh, Thompson came to the net, he chased it down, and Nadal had no option but to do a cross court forehand winner, and he pulled it off.
Yeah, that was definitely scary though. Like on a few occasions in this rally, Nadal looked a little out of balance and out of position, but Thompson actually gets just gets burned by that forehand pass.
Ooh,
such a long match already. Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. Hugo Humbert has pulled out of Adelaide. I think those injury issues are still affecting him. Jordan
Yeah, I think it was
Thompson,
something gastric, right? If I
I
remember
think so.
correctly.
Yeah, it now means that
Gastro, whatever.
Yeah, it means Jordan Thompson now goes into the main draw for Adelaide, so he doesn't have to worry about qualifying. He's probably would have got a wild card anyway. And then next up, Fucinic for Adelaide. Forehand by Nadal, he's got advantage still, but wide by Johnson, by Jordan Thompson, not Johnson, wide by Jordan Thompson. And it is now into a 6-5 for Nadal.
Yeah, Draper second on the alternate list as well. Would be good for him if he didn't have to play qualies, but we'll see.
I don't think there's anyone on who is the main contender for the SE slot. So I imagine those two will drop, and then Fucinic and Draper will then go into the main draw that way.
Jordan Thompson was in contention, but he's not there anymore.
He's now main draw. He's now in the main draw.
Yeah. How about Rusevuori or Offner though?
I can't. Well, Offner's, unless I'm mistaken, isn't he ranked like 50 odd in the world?
Oh yeah, maybe he might be higher right now. Yeah. Yeah, Offner is in Auckland, and Rusevuori. I guess Rusevuori is the player who could be in contention for that.
Yeah, Gasquet is about to
Yuncheng Shang as well. If Yuncheng Shang wins, tomorrow,
he could take an SE slot.
Although no, he wouldn't do that because of course he has Australian Open qualifying. Oh, he actually has. Oh no, he has a wild card for the Australian.
He has a wild card, so he could if he wanted to.
He has the Australian, the Asian wild card. Okay. Now that there's no playoff and they just award it sort of, to whatever player they want to, it's hard to keep track of that.
Yeah, so I hope Jack actually gets in main draw. I don't want him to do qualifying just because it'd be an extra 2 matches in which he doesn't really need to do before literally the week before AO. I know he's using Adelaide as his warm-up event.
I guess he could. I guess he should then, given that maybe the special exempts will drop. But who knows? Maybe both Rusevuori and Shang will actually decide they want to play. Is there a possibility of a special exempt from United Cup? I don't know. I mean,
that's a good question. Actually, does it count?
Yeah, no clue. There could be Marterer, for example. Because he's
you're not playing at all and you just sat on the bench. I mean,
doesn't matter, right? I mean, he is actually still at the United Cup. He's competing at the United Cup, and that's why he cannot play qualifying, right? So yeah. I don't know if that counts. I absolutely have no clue if that counts.
Okay, Thompson's racing at the moment to try and get to a tiebreaker. It's 30 love to Thompson at the moment.
Well, the last service game of Jordan Thompson was also 30 love before it led to a match point for Rafa.
Yeah.
Is this already the time when we check when was the last time Rafa wasted a match point? Probably not. Let's do it after the second set, right?
We're still a while off yet. Off yet. I mean, like if he wins the next 4 points in a row, then he's walking home, or he's walking into the semis tomorrow.
I think after the second set will be a good time to check that out. Probably we can hold off just yet.
Yeah. Rafa's looking good on his serve at the moment and was able to get the mistake out of Thompson, pushing him well behind the Brisbane sign at the top of the court. 30-15 to Thompson, and Thompson is yabbering to his box. Tying up his people there. So really, down the tee, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal cross court. Thompson just able to reach to it. You probably would have said in that one it would have been better for Nadal to have gone up the line instead of cross court, but Thompson read it. Thompson read it very well. 40-15.
And of course, Jordan Thompson has already beaten Rafael Nadal this week, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah. The proper comeback match, I guess, of Rafa in doubles. Jordan Thompson, Max Purcell defeating Nadal and Mark Lopez, who's of course sitting here in the Rafa box. Ooh.
Backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, all onto the line. And we go to a tiebreaker. This is going to be a crunch one. I think Rafa hasn't played a tiebreaker yet in this tournament. Nearly happened against Team, nearly happened in the first set here. But yeah, he's getting a real workout. Even if he does do this in 2, Rafa, it is still over 2 hours on court.
Yeah, I'm calling a Grigor Dimitrov win tomorrow.
Yeah, what against either opponent?
I was mostly thinking of Rafa, but I guess against Thompson as well.
Yeah. So let's see how.
And Matthew was right as well to point out in the chat that like their last hardcourt matches and all of their hardcourt matches really, despite the 8-1 that I think it is on hardcourts, like all of their hardcourt matches were really close. A lot of these Dimitrov could have won.
Yeah. First point to Nadal, held serve there. Thompson just was reckless with that forehand. 1-0 Nadal. So Nadal's somewhat feeling it. Love his racket design. It's very colourful. Jordan into position. Rafa is really going far back behind. Oh, what a forehand winner by Rafa. Oh, my days. He's standing so far back. Thompson fires it out wide as he could. Rafa manages to get to it, get a racket on it, and hits a brilliant passing shot past Thompson as Thompson charges the net. Thompson left flailing at that one.
See, John was already getting impatient in the chat and asking when was the last time Nadal had a match point and lost.
John's determined to know on that one.
Yeah, I think it would be against Kyrgios in Acapulco 2019, unless there was something
else.
Yeah, unless there was something very recent.
Thompson out wide, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, cross court up the line by Nadal. Another brilliant passing shot winner by Nadal there. Thompson again went to try and close down the net. Nadal found the opening, went down the line this time, and has got 2 mini breaks. It is 3-love up. 3-love up. Leroy is already saying that he believes Rafa will do it in 2. He has started well here in this tiebreaker. Now he's got 2 of his serves of his own to try and get it to 5.
Yeah, that pass kind of feels like the match is over.
Yeah, you cannot be giving up your two serves straight from the get-go, especially in a 7-point tiebreaker.
You
Rafa.
Cannot, but at the same time, has Thompson done that much wrong?
But Thompson, though, brilliant return. Rafa unable to get anything proper to it. One of the 2 break points has been brought back. 3-1 at the moment to Rafa. Still has 1 of the mini breaks. We'll still be looking to try and hold his serve here so we can at least keep that mini break. Both players, you can see the sweat pouring from them. All the camera crew are taking the photos. So Rafa goes up the line. Thompson just about gets to it. Rafa across court, though wide of the baseline. And that's both serves gone. So we're back on serve. In quick succession. He's worked so hard, Nadal, to get that 3-love lead. And has just given back the 2 breaks. Thompson plays football with the tennis ball.
You haven't seen the next point yet, but let me just tell you that Jordan Thompson's facial reaction was exactly the same as mine.
My love behind it. Oof. Oof.
Yeah, have you seen it now? I think you
I've
have, right?
seen it. That was close.
Yeah.
That was close.
Yeah, that was
Same
exactly
thing
that.
happening again.
Jordan Thompson definitely did the same. Felt the same as me. That felt really, really close to yet another forehand passing shot. Well, we could call it the third one in the game, despite the return being like semi pass, let's say. Anyway.
Right, I'll still commentate on this one. Jordan's getting some new balls. Goes at the line. Forehand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand cross court by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand there. Backhand again. Backhand by Thompson. Backhand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Slice by Rafa there. Forehand by Thompson again. Backhand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. The cat and mouse here by both players. Into the net by Thompson. The break, mini break is back for Rafa. Very good rally there. There's a man in the crowd with an excellent moustache as well. I currently got it as 4-3 to Rafa at the moment. Okay, so can Rafa hold on to his serve? He didn't do it in the last 2 points. It's into the net by Thompson, 5-3. He did on that point. Probably wants the same ball back, most likely, after how well that one was hit. So 5-3 to Rafa at the moment. Looking at what balls he's got. Yeah, it goes down the tee. Flailing by Thompson. Rafa comes to the net. Goes down the line. Smashed by Rafa long. Crikey. But he balls that one up.
Yeah, Thompson can't believe his luck at the moment.
Absolutely balls that one up. 5-4. So still in the lead, Rafa, but all mini breaks have gone. Just hugged that line too much. He needed to have moved it across court. To Thompson. Goes up the line. Backhand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Rafa down the line. Up the line again by Thompson. Cross court by Rafa. Backhand by Thompson. Rafa again. Backhand by Thompson. Clips the top of the net. Cross court by Rafa. Thompson just about gets to it. Brings it the other way. Rafa. Thompson gets to that as well. And then slides down onto the line. Brilliant by Rafa there. 6-4. 6-4. So at the moment, we've got Rafa with 2 match points. One of which will be on Thompson's serve, the other one which will be on his. Of course, he'll want to get it done on Thompson's serve. He'll want to get this match over and done with as quickly as possible. Thompson collecting his ball, collecting the balls, taking his time. Thompson goes across court, hits the tram line, so we're onto a second serve. That's his balls. Get Rafa. See, forehand by Rafa down the tee. Thompson just gets it. Rafa comes inside. Oh, tries to go down the line and hits it wide. And attempted forehand down the line, and it goes wide. So it is 6-5. Rafa is serving for the match. That's the second match point that Rafa has lost.
Yeah, but now the first one on his own serve, though.
Yeah, this is the first one on his own serve. But he kind of felt like he was in control at that point. So he grabs some of the balls. Just going to get two. He'll want to get this done. It's been a lovely little tussle with Jordan here, but he doesn't want this to be extended any further. You can see his shorts are so wet that you can see the tennis ball in them quite clearly. Goes in the middle, up the line by Thompson, cross court by Rafa, forehand by Thompson. Oh, and it hits the net by Rafa on that one, and Thompson just took control at that point. It was a bit timid by Rafa. Didn't really have a direction on that first serve. 6-6.
Yeah, and on that first forehand as well. It's like a very common spot for Rafa to go into the corner, inside out. He just goes a little down the middle, and Thompson, to his credit, very quick with the punish.
Sticking in here, Thompson. He's sticking in here.
As we said, after this set, this is where you start checking when Rafa last lost, wasting a match point. This is the moment if he loses the set.
Yeah, this is where the concern will be. Just taking on some water at the moment. So, Rafa now back at the baseline here.
My jaw is on the floor. I'll just say that.
All right. Backhand. Oh, wow, by Thompson. Rafa's just not putting him away when he came to the net. And one flailing around each other. So Jordan Thompson with set point. Jordan Thompson with set point here to take it to a third set. Yeah, he's very happy, Jordan. Okay, so Jordan's just about to serve. Yeah, set point leading up here. I see Leroy in the chat saying who doesn't rush the net. I think he probably will rush the net here. Goes down the tee, hits the net, second serve. Is that a little bit of nerves playing into here for Jordan? Jordan goes down the tee, backhand by Rafa, backhand by Jordan, forehand by Rafa, forehand by Jordan, forehand by Rafa, backhand by Jordan, forehand by Rafa up the line, back forehand by Jordan, backhand by Rafa, backhand by Jordan, forehand by Rafa again, backhand down the line by Jordan, backhand by Rafa, forehand by Jordan, forehand by Rafa. Jeez, he's doing all he can to stay in this. Rafa goes for the lob, lands in. Jordan goes for the smash, and he gets it in, and he wins the second set. He somehow out of the jaws of what looked like defeats, he has managed to rescue a lifeline. He is in this.
Yeah, and what an insane couple of points as well at the end.
One set. Oh, crikey. We are going the distance at the Pat Rafter Arena. I say we're not there. I wish we were there, but Jude Law is in the crowd and is certainly happy with the performance he's seeing here. Gee. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, and now this is where you can look at when Nadal last lost having a match point. I think it is that Kyrgios one in Acapulco. Indeed, 8 times in his career.
8 times in his career, he's lost a match point up.
On the ATP tour, at least, no one is keeping track of earlier. Yeah, I don't know if the Collignons are brothers, Keen, but I would assume so. Like, it's definitely not a super popular name. At least their family, whichever family that would be. Anyway, I will actually be gone off for like 15 minutes. I have to write something up, but then I'll be back for the rest of the third set. If
Cool.
that's okay with you.
That's all right. See you in a bit. See you in a little bit, Damien.
See you in a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so we are into a bit there. We may just go quickly for a quick break as well, because I need to just refresh my water. So you get a quick little advertisement pop through, and we'll be back in just a tick.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
There we go. Just all the players are back, ready to play now, and I've got a refresh. Oh, no, I say all the players are back. It was Rafa's standing at the edge of the court, ready to play. He'll be annoyed with himself. He had 2 match points there on that tiebreaker, and he didn't take them, especially that one onto Thompson's serve. He didn't have to play as close to the lines as he did. Thompson was just changing some of his kit. So 2.5 hours in. Leroy, you're asking, how will Nadal respond, James? Will there be any antics? Just saying. This is a good question, because this is where we're going to see how well Nadal's body's going to hold up. You know, we know he's the champion, you know, one of the greatest of all time players, and he will have a warrior spirit. It is then now just a case of just seeing will his body work with that warrior spirit to try and get the victory here. I mean, Thompson has also put a lot into this match. Both sets 1 and 2 were really good for him. So it's going to be interesting to see how well he can hold up as well. Will his level hold in this? I think we're probably going to see a fair few breaks of serves in this set, to be honest. I don't think both players will have as much potency on their service games as they once were in the last 2. As we start with a double fault for Thompson. Of course, now Jordan Thompson will be serving first in this last set. And this is probably the point in which Rafa would certainly want to break Jordan here. So Thompson goes up the line. Forehand by Rafa. Lands long on the baseline, so it is 15-all. That was a good first serve there by Jordan. It's always the way, really strong serving in the service games, and then you can start seeing chinks in that tiebreaker. A lot of serves were broken by both players. Backhand by Rafa. Onto the tram line from Thompson. The ball, the blocked black back return by Rafa landed just at the back end corner where Thompson was, and he was unable to get any real connection to it and ends up hitting it into the tram line. So we are at 30-15 Rafa, or 15-30 Rafa. So Thompson goes cross court, just goes wide of the tram line. We're on to a second serve. Goes cross court again. Forehand by Rafa. Forehand by Thompson. Block return by Rafa. Lands just in. Thompson goes for the smash and puts it away quite comfortably. We're at 30-all. 30-all here. All at the moment. Goes cross court. Back forehand by Nadal. Smash by Thompson, but to Nadal. Nadal goes cross court. Wild though, and it is point to Thompson. That was a wild backhand by Rafa. Didn't really know where he really wanted to place that ball. 40-30 Thompson. See, Rafa just looks a little bit deflated at the moment. Cross court, and he gets the ace from Thompson. 1-love to the Australian. He will really feel, Jordan Thompson, that he is in the ascendancy here. He is held on. He's playing his best possible tennis to try and get this done. Absolutely think that Nadal looks shot. He does look quite tired. I think he'll still soldier on because he's Rafael Nadal. This will certainly be a bizarre feeling for the man. He's getting his bottles just in position. They do say it's a So what I said, it's 1-love to Thompson at the moment. Nadal is serving. Backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson. Nadal comes forward, puts it away. 15-love. there. Just getting his ears all sorted there. So see, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson. Was that on the line? That looked on the line. That was on the line. It's 15-all. That was a brilliant forehand by Thompson. Absolutely brilliantly put away. Very brilliantly put away there. Nadal goes down the tee. Thompson just about gets to it. Cross court by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson. Oh, that was long on the baseline by Thompson. Only just on that one. Nadal 30-15. He is hanging. I say hanging on. He's looking. He keeps some degree of gap in this match, in this contest. See, 2 hours and 44 minutes on the clock. We are probably going to be watching what is going to be the longest match of this year so far. With the way things are going, this match could possibly, or certainly could look to be breaking the 3.5 hour mark as a possibility. Nadal goes up the line, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, backhand into the net by Thompson. That makes it 40-15. (40-15) to Nadal currently. Just shaping his ears. Nadal tries to go up the tee, hits the net onto a second serve. Getting himself into position. He goes up the tee, backhand by Thompson, and it goes in, and it's perfectly located. Nadal just flummoxed onto it. 40-30. there. One how Nadal will do here. So goes cross court, forehand by Thompson, a brilliant backhand by Thompson there. He was able to just about get his backhand onto it and strikes it cross court. Nadal left stranded. We're at deuce. We're at deuce here. Thompson at deuce. Forehand by Thompson, just wide of the tram line, and it is advantage Nadal. Advantage Nadal we are at the moment. She's also rubbing his face at the moment. And tries to go cross court, hits the net, so onto a second serve. It has to do better than the second serve from where this point was at before. Nadal goes cross court, backhand by Thompson, cross court, but that is wide. And Nadal holds serve. Nadal holds serve. So we are at 1-all. We're at 1-all at the moment, which is pretty neat. See if we quickly grab something. Fix that. So just waiting for Thompson to come back. Yeah, just at 1-1. Thompson goes down the tee, no luck. Score, backhand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson. Oh, and he just fires it past Nadal, so that is 15 love. I'm going to do this. It's going to move to that. So I'm going to start also partly eating my lunch as well, as it's now gone to close to 1:30 UK time. Cross court by Thompson, just about gets it in, so that is 30 love. Good play by Thompson. His level's not dropped. Thanks, 1 over deep. John at C. Forehand by Nadal, but long. That is at 40. Thompson's really rocketing through his service game here. As it currently stands, Thompson is not having his level drop, which is good. Cross court, just slightly wide, so onto a second serve. Do a second serve here. Down the tee, up the line by Nadal with a brilliant backhand. Brilliant backhand by Nadal up the line. So at least gets 1 point back, 1 point here. Cross-court attempt by Thompson. It's a net, so onto a second serve. Backhand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson into the net. So that now makes it 40-30. So Nadal's coming back a bit here. Was 40 love down. Now 40-30. Thompson goes down the tee, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, talk by Nadal, backhand down line by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, just lands on the baseline, so it's still in the point, but Nadal unable to get anything major on that one there. You always ask James, what is Thompson's ranking? He is 55 in the world at the moment. Has had a high of 42. And Nadal is not great in tie breaks, it seems, at the moment. Should have put that second set away. And there's a real risk here that he may end up losing it. I'll tell you what, you're a paying crowd here in Brisbane. You'll be very pleased with all the entertainment you're getting tonight. And an Australian player really trying his best to take it to one of the greatest in the world. One of the greatest there's ever been. You've already got yourself 2.5 hours worth of amusement, probably going to go to 3. Actually, most definitely going to be going to 3 hours, maybe even 3.5 hours. It's a brilliant time or situation to be in to get more glorious shots of the Brisbane coastline. Now, Nadal has not won a tiebreak in 18 months since the time he played Brits at Wimbledon. Ian saying big news: Oliver Crawford declaring for UK as he has top 100 potential. What he does, I know he's 24 and he's I think what was it? Well, Nadal from Birmingham, but he's lived in the States for a while. I think he went to the US college system. I'm interested to see how Oliver does. I know he's in the Australian Open qualifying. Let's see if he can get himself qualified, or at least a good run at the qualifying stages. Wide by Thompson now, and that was a good rally, but Thompson never get any real control on it. Thompson does not look happy with himself. Down the line, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson at the line, backhand cross court by Nadal, brilliantly located by Rafa. Certainly what they're talking to now in terms of Rafa to get his ranking up. I know that Rafa will certainly want to be seeded by the time that the French Open comes, so he'll need to certainly pick up, what is it, around about 1,400 points he'll need. Anyways, James giving us a point of play. Backhand by Nadal, slice, backhand by Thompson onto the line, and it's just perfectly located for Thompson there. We're just saying, yeah, he'll certainly want to be seeded for Roland Garros, and that will require having around about 1,400 points as the current rankings stand to be able to achieve that at a minimum. So I need a lot of points here. I need a lot of points here. And throughout the hard court bit season and into the clay court season, so we can actually be able to achieve that. Into the net there by Rafa, so on to a second serve. To Rafa, up into the air, goes down the tee, backhand by Thompson, who was jammed up though. Rafa tries to go cross court, but hits the net and it goes wide. And all of a sudden, what was 30 love to Nadal has now gone to 30 all. It actually is now a little bit more tense and a little bit more tighter. I was just saying, this isn't a Tim Tam, this is a Penguin. But Tim Tam's meant to be really good for this in Australia. Second serve for Nadal. With a bit of a danger zone for all the Spaniards at the moment. Backhand by Thompson. Left floundering by Nadal. And Thompson has a break point. Thompson with the break point. Goes on the tee. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson up the line. Backhand by Nadal. Floundering. Thompson comes to the net. Smashes it away. And Jordan Thompson has the first break of the match. It is now 3-1 to Jordan Thompson in the third set. People were worried about Nadal. Worried he looked a bit deflated. Worried about the body. Thompson in the ascendancy, and he has that break in the third set. He needs to hold on now for 3 more games, and he would have beaten Rafael Nadal to make the semi-finals of the Brisbane International. I said that Nadal serves do look tired. If that first serve doesn't go in, there's problems. On the line. Forehand down the line by Nadal, but just a tired forehand long. So now 30 love. Good serve there by Thompson. Thank you everyone for sticking with me while I was eating my lunch. Thompson cross court, no luck. Potentially the heat, Sean. I think very much more just match play and physical exhaustion. You know, he's not done a 3-hour match in, well, years, quite literally. This is all a big test to him as we're clocked over the 3-hour mark. And physically, he may just be gone because of it, coupled with the heat and humidity that's in Brisbane at the moment. One on the Rafa there. Thompson comes forward, puts it away. Sorry about that. Puts it away, and it is now 40 love. 40 love to Thompson to go. To look to go 4-1 up in the third set. It's weird to say because we're so used to sort of big sets with these two. Oh, and interestingly, though we were talking about Opelka, I said it'd be an arse and he would do it after qualifying. He hasn't. O'Reilly Opelka has pulled out of the Australian Open, meaning Dominic Thiem has got into the main draw for Australia. Does not need to worry about qualifying. Rafa hits the net, and it is 4-1 up. 4-1 to Jordan Thompson. He is 2 games away now from beating Rafael Nadal and progressing, like we said, to the semis. Other bits of information: Adelaide, one of the SE spots, which is the special exemption spots, has gone. So that is Marko Vucinic now into the main draw. Next being Jack Draper. And that's Vucinic also out of the Adelaide qualifying. And with Thiem now being pulled out of the Australian Open qualifying, Tabor has now entered qualifying. Rafa's now complaining about issues with his body. He's got a physio to have a look at it. It's to do with his right thigh. Hey,
hello. I am back now. A few things have happened that we are talking about actually. As well, Opelka has pulled out of the Australian Open, so Thiem is in. And also, I saw confirmation that Yuncheng Shang is the only player still in contention for a special exempt. So Fucsovics is in, and Draper is that first alternate in Adelaide now.
Cool. So we're just waiting to see if Zhang wants to take the one of the Adelaide, the last Adelaide slot.
Well, if he, I don't know if it's about want or is it also a thing of whether he gets to a final, right? Because is he like, when does the qualifying start? Is the question.
I think qualifying starts on Sunday because
I think so as well. So so that's why he actually has to make the final.
You're right there, Damien.
Yes. to be able to take that special exempt spot.
Do you need 5 minutes to sort your mic out?
No, I'll do it. Wow. Yeah, that was big. Basically, all fell on me.
It's nothing's broken, is it?
No. I had a feeling the construction might come off at some point. I just didn't expect it to be this rapid, I guess, and kind of painful actually as well.
Oh, are you okay there?
Yeah.
Did it hit your face, or was it your arm, or
my wrists?
Your wrists.
Yeah.
Oh, James asked, can you explain special exempt? That's a very good question. So, special exempts are positions in a draw which are given to players who are doing really well in the tournament leading the week before that tournament, before a said tournament takes place, but are ranked so low that they would not get into the main draw automatically. The idea being that you could have a player that's doing really well in a tournament in Marseille, for example, and they're getting to like the semi-final, final, but it then means that they wouldn't be able to do qualifying for a tournament next week because the qualifying taking place at the same time as like a semi-final, and then that player effectively getting like a boost into the main draw of, say, Rotterdam, for example, the week later because they're doing so well at a tournament the week prior. Does that sound about right, Damien?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of rules, of course, relating to that. I guess the most important ones are that you cannot take it between levels. So, like, a good run at a challenger will not give you an ATP Tour special exempt. They are sort of geographically limited. So, if there is an event in the same geographical region as the one that you're playing, you have to take a special exempt for that one. This doesn't work though if there isn't. So if like you're playing very well in a South American event and there is a South American event next week, you have to take it to a South American event. But if there wouldn't be a South American event, you can take it anywhere on the planet. And basically, if it doesn't, if your run from the previous week is not allowing you to play the qualifying, like physically not allowing you to do it, then you can take a special exempt. And also an important thing to note, and people forget about that, you don't actually have to be on the entry list either. I know it's a misconception that a lot of people have, that you have to be on the entry list for the for the qualifying and then you can't play and then you get a special exempt. You can just apply for the special exempt. In fact, I think it's even the tournaments that, or like the supervisor that has to contact potential players and ask whether they are interested or not. So it's actually a very player friendly system in that way as well.
Yeah, it's a really good way of rewarding players that are doing well, lower ranked players are doing well and continue to do well at a tournament. But the week prior, and not just have to feel that they have to put. The traditional idea is that they don't have to pull out of that tournament late into the stages to play qualifying for the tournament the week later.
Yeah. How about Nadal's physicality? The set, I mean, has definitely dropped, but have we seen like signs of injury of sorts? Has play stopped now? By the way, I mean, Nadal went.
He's having a medical timeout at the moment,
break,
and it's about to just checking on him.
And how about that physicality, James? You've been watching this more closely.
I mean, that's in a drop-in level, but I would have more put that down to conditioning and just he's getting tired. It's gone past 3 hours. He hasn't played this sort of match in like over a year. And you've got a player who's really on it. I mean, so Nadal's coming back. I suspect you usually get many niggles when you're playing this long. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised that he did get the trainer out. Or just try to continue it as much as he can at the moment. And apparently, somebody played the Thomas the Tank Engine song during the match as well. Sean said it's sort of like a Raducanu score, this match. It is a bit in a way, depending on how if Thompson is able to really run away with it the last two serves. Great, because I was just served there, and it's now 15-love. Up the line, no luck there from Nadal. There's the line. Forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal. Thompson forehand long on the baseline. 30-love to Rafa. Rafa up in the air, goes across court, forehand by Thompson. Wide though on that return, so 40-love to Nadal.
Yeah, this is now a proper down-to-earth match for Nadal. But as we said earlier, like this is still a great comeback event for him. Got lots of playtime, got a couple of wins.
Picked up
Perhaps playing for
points.
3.5 hours is just a little much for now.
Yeah, it probably is. It's
perfectly understandable, of course.
I mean, we say that this is Rafael Nadal, and he's only had one breakdown. I mean, if he breaks back here, then it's still on. But see what happens. It looks at the moment like Thompson, is on course to get this, but jitters could come. Trying to think, what I think the last time Thompson. What was the last time Thompson got to the semi-final of an ATP event? I have a feeling it was
Hertogenbosch last year, maybe.
I think it is because he got to the final of that event, didn't he?
Yeah. Then he was, I think, in the quarters in Newport as well.
Yeah.
Was there something later on? I'm not actually sure.
I think that's semi-final. Let me have a look. Let's look at his ATP with the new web page, which is now a bit bizarre.
It's horrific. I mean, I don't really understand how can you do that. You can literally it takes 10 more clicks to get all the useful info, and in some cases you can't even find it at all. Like where is a player's career high ranking, for example?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so 16, 28 quarter. Chengdu, he got to the quarters but retired. Yeah, Washington, he got to the quarters but lost to Fritz. Newport quarters but lost to Manarino. Yeah, it would have been to Hergenbosch when he got to the final.
Yeah.
And lost to Talon Grigspor. He didn't Surbiton, that's not a main tour event.
Were you looking at Rome, Georgia? Or no, the South Korean one. Okay. Yeah, that was closer to Hertogenbosch, I guess. He still hasn't made a final, I think, outside Grass. And in fact, outside Hertogenbosch twice. So a pretty big chance against Dimitrov, but he has to beat Dimitrov for that to happen. So of course, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, Dimitrov will be a tough one, but he'll have the Australian crowd behind him. Brilliant serve out wide from Thompson on that one there to make it 40-15. See Rafa right behind the signs. Thompson goes out wide. Ball hand by Rafa. That lands long, and it is 5-2 to Thompson. 5-2. So he is one game away Oh, we probably actually it does feel a bit like a bit more anticlimactic way of this match sort of feeling like it's coming to an end. Yeah, Rafa's just staring at himself, just burned his fist into his hand. Leroy would be very happy that Jordan's on top. Great shots of a cricket stadium in Brisbane.
Looks like the dirty tactics didn't work, as people in the chat called them.
Dirty tactics.
I don't know if they were dirty, but well, I'm just reading what I saw there. But if they were, then it didn't work out. Sort of like the Raducanu scored this match. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Either you
Nadal's-
clinch it in 2 or you don't at all.
Caught by Nadal, backhand by Thompson. That was a good, though, deep return by Thompson. Nadal unable to get anything major to it. Love 15 to Thompson.
I'm scrolling through the chat earlier, but John with the stats like Nadal not won a tie-break in 18 months. I mean, he's only played like a few matches. So.
I mean, you're not wrong, but...
Yeah, you're not wrong, but there's a big but. And it's not Nadal's big but. It's another but.
Goes cross court, backhand by Veen, forehand by Veen, backhand by Thompson. Nadal just trying to stick on it here. Forehand by Thompson, though, into the net. He nearly does the splits there, Thompson. Yeah, himself into position. $15 all at the moment. 3 hours and 17 minutes on the clock. Back at line. Forehand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson cross court. Down the line by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson. Backhand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson. Backhand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson. Backhand to backhand, moving each other from different points of the court all over the shot. Thompson getting to everything. But Nadal was able to put it away with a backhand cross-court winner. A lot of the crowd is still there. I mean, we're looking at what time is it now in Brisbane? We're looking at it being 11:50 at night. About 10 minutes off going into Saturday morning in Brisbane time. Up in the air, goes down to the tee, forehand by Thompson. The dog comes to the net, goes cross court. Thompson just about gets to it, but he only able to sort of get a flaming racket onto it. 40-15 at the moment. Nadal all into the air, goes down the tee, hits the net, so it is to oh, good forehand by Nadal, makes it, at least holds his serve. He at least asked the question. 5-3, Thompson to come out to serve for the match. So he come out, he's already there, but he's about to get the balls to serve for the match. Checking which balls he wants to use. So first ball. Jordan goes out wide, backhand by Nadal, cross court. Just misses the line. Oh, just clips the line. It just clips the line. 15 to Nadal. Brilliant cross court backhand winner by Nadal there. Thompson sticks him out wide. Nadal gets a brilliant return on that. Thompson rushes in there, but unable to do anything. Love 15. Does the comeback start right here? Thompson, ball into the air, goes up the line, backhand by Nadal, just about gets it. Thompson goes up the able to. He was at the net, able to forehand it away to make it 15-all. It's a shot telling us about first serve points. 13 for 16 for Thompson this set so far, only 10 for 15 for Nadal. Thompson. Ball in there, goes up the line. Forehand by Nadal. But that was just long on the first serve anyway, so it is to a second serve. Up the line. Backhand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson at the line. Backhand by Nadal again. Forehand by Thompson cross court. Forehand by Nadal. Backhand by Thompson. Backhand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson at the line. Forehand by Nadal cross court. Backhand by Thompson into the net. And that makes it 15-30.
Interesting, yeah. This time Thompson not really willing to attack, pull the trigger, go forward. And
yeah, that was a little bit more passive from the Australian on that one. I think his racket broke as well, so he's getting a new racket.
On that last shot? That's interesting.
Maybe when he banged it into the ground.
Yeah, maybe when he did that, yeah.
Leroy saying it's getting tense. It is getting tense at the moment. It's getting really tense at the moment.
Yeah, could use some 3 points, but I guess Nadal's main job right now is to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah. Make sure you make Thompson play.
Backhand by Nadal. Forehand by Thompson at the line. Backhand by Nadal as well. Loose over the head, but a brilliant forehand cross court winner there by Thompson. 30-all at the moment. So we're over 2 points away from Nadal breaking back, or we're 2 points away from Thompson taking the match. It's amazing how the tennis scoring system works that way. He's getting some good shots there, like we say, 30-all at the moment. A bit of a yaks moment from Nadal there. On that point, he wasn't happy with that. Thompson ball into the air, tries to go down the tee, hits the net, second serve, bit of a chance here for Nadal. He's coming a bit forward here. Thompson ball into the air, goes cross court, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, into the net though, into the net. Oh, we've not really seen that much from Nadal this period, and he finds the net. John Thompson, though, now with a match point. Nadal had 3 of them in the second set, unable to take any of them. It is now down to Jordan Thompson here. Can he take this match point?
Yeah, and we said the main task for Nadal right now is just to make Thompson play. He did not manage to do it here.
Don't give him any freebies. You never want to give your opponent any freebies when they're serving out. Up the line by Nadal, forehand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, forehand by Thompson cross court, backhand by Nadal down the line, backhand by Thompson cross court, forehand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, backhand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson, forehand by Nadal, backhand by Thompson as well, forehand by Nadal cross court. Nadal in charge at the moment, it feels like in this point. Backhand again, backhand by Nadal cross court, forehand by Thompson. Forehand by Nadal cross court, backhand by Thompson. He's sticking in this, Jordan. Back forehand at the line by Thompson. Back for cross court by Nadal. Cross court again by Thompson. Cross court by Nadal. Cross court by Thompson. Oh, God, this is a rally. Thompson just back he's in. Sliced by Nadal. Sliced by Thompson. Sliced by Nadal. Thompson just reaches it. Down the line by Nadal. And it's long. And Jordan Thompson on the probably the longest rally of the match. Outlasts Rafael Nadal and gets the victory. It has been a mammoth event here in Brisbane between these two players. Jordan Thompson bringing his A++, what feels like plus game to the courts here. I say here, the courts in Brisbane. Absolutely chuffed a bit, celebrating with the crowd. He ends up winning the match 5-7, 7-6, 6-3 in what I believe is something like 3 hours and 25 minutes. So an absolutely gigantic effort there from Jordan Thompson to get the win. What did you make of that, Damien?
Yeah, as I said earlier, like a back to earth for Rafa, but it had to happen at some point. I did sort of want him to play Dimitrov or Rune, just give him one more amazing match against like a high quality opponent. But still, I think it's perfectly fine to lose to Thompson at this stage of his comeback. Thompson does deserve a lot of credit for, at least sticking around long enough to outlast him. And not many players would have done that today. And 3 hours on the court, and that's also a benefit for Rafa, really. So I think it definitely will hold off some of the excitement that I saw from people. But maybe that's good, Maybe they will just not be disappointed when he draws Djokovic in the opening round at the Australian Open and wins 6 games of him. But anyway, still Jordan Thompson, that deserved victor because he saved the match points. He was ballsy when it mattered, unlike Rafa, actually. And sure. Why not? I mean, it was a very tight, a very good match. Lasted, it was a whole marathon that I think in the long run will actually end up helping Rafa more than hurting him.
The match points were pretty ugly though, weren't they? I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. I was talking about this just a couple of days ago. I remember I think Felix having a match point against Medvedev. Korda to some extent his match point against Djokovic last year in Adelaide. The match point Alcaraz had against Djokovic in Cincinnati. All of those points are like, well, there's not much regret there. Alcaraz's regrets will be elsewhere. But no,
Korda Djokovic actually probably doesn't.
I did
really
hesitate a bit with that one. But,
that one doesn't really fit, I think. But I know what you mean, yeah.
But these Nadal ones were ugly. I mean, the backhand volley, he's just got to place it over the net, and it probably, if it's not an outright winner, it's certainly getting him in very much in charge of the point, and that's only if Jordan manages to run it down. The forehand, I think it was during the tie break on the first match point, I think it was that he put wide, puts those away in his sleep. And I can't remember the other one. Well, there was a smash in the tiebreak, not a match point. But it was a smash at 4-3. Very, very ugly. Some of this might be because of a year off tour. That may be the case. I mean, he goes obviously 6-7 years without losing a match, having had match points. I think you said it was Kyrgios in Acapulco. What year was that? 2017? 2019, okay. So 4 or 5 years since this happened. And now it happens, shortly after his return to the tour. Anyway, that is the sort of Rafa story, I guess. I also think he just needs as many matches as he can and as many match wins as he can. So as much as I agree with you that 3 hours plus on court will not do him any harm, do we know what the physical issue was specifically with him, by the way?
He went off the court, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but I wasn't. No, but I wasn't sure. I mean, normally there's an indication. It might be, whether it's the abs or hip or whatever. But he came back. Those last 3 or 4 games, it was like he was the same as right at the beginning of the match in a way. So he did manage to do this sort of Djokovic-esque reset. And I think it might have just been fatigue. It might have just been fatigue, and I'm going to take 5 minutes here. Not that that's legal, of course.
No, it makes sense. You could just easily start, rubbing. It was like he did the right bit of his thigh just to say that he needed some time off court, just to reset mid-set.
That's not too bad. If it's thigh, then that's just probably a bit of tightness, and
I mean, I think everyone's thighs will be burning after 3 hours on court playing, main tour tennis. That sort of level. But no, it kind of helped him at least going off court for a bit because it was able to reset and just able to hold his serve quite well in the latter half of that third set. And
Damien, the service issues that I was worried about for Rafa in the first 2 matches did appear today. The second serve, Jordan was just eating that for breakfast. I think at various points of the match, it was about a 4 out of 5. Jordan was winning those points, which is just insane off the second serve.
Second serve, though, right? Like before, we were chatting about the first, I guess.
Yeah, from both players, they were pretty.
So it's not really a matter of pace as well.
But anyway,
More
I mean,
a matter of
there was a
routine.
I'm not sure how many double faults Rafa did, just 2, but both of those double faults were coming in a period of the match when Thompson was just crushing returns. And I was thinking to myself, these double faults are coming from the fact that you've got to do a good second serve or you're going to lose them. Jordan Thompson, what about his chances, do you think, against Dimitrov?
Rather slim.
As bad as that? Okay. I mean, physically, of course, he'll have had a tough battle today. I mean, 30% chance of winning? Or am I being too much?
I would say
Why
30.
Not?
I think with the Australian crowd behind him being an Aussie, and if he could produce some of the, somewhat similar to the level he produced today, because we've got to also give credit to Jordan. He played an outstanding level of tennis across all 3 sets to get this victory here. It wasn't a case of just like Rafa giving it to him. He had to go out and win this. And if he's able to produce similar sort of levels against Dimitrov, potentially taking a set, maybe making another set fairly close is a possibility for Jordan here. I mean, okay. Dimitrov is playing outstanding tennis at the moment and is very much one of the most informed players on tour, and it would be interesting to see how well Jordan can cope with that when it takes place.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I love the improvements that Thompson has made over the years. Like, of course, there was a moment when he was a bit of a challenger vulture. That's not really a case anymore, not at all. But is he as good as Dimitrov is? Nah, not on hardcore at least.
Thompson, of course, could have won the first set, by the way, today. I mean, he was up a break at 4-3 and then got immediately broken back. I would say, though, that Rafa was probably the better player across the 12 games, certainly the first 5 or 6 games where Rafa was serving quite well and Jordan was not. That was sort of a period of the match that I thought Rafa should have taken advantage. And actually, Thompson breaking serve was a sort of opportunistic moment, if you like, before Rafa then broke back immediately and took that first set. But I guess the story, though, of the match is that second set and that period at the end of the second set, and then the tiebreak. I mean, Rafa goes up 3-love in the tiebreak, then Jordan pegs him back to 3-all. 4-3 is the smash moment that was horrible. 6-4 is the horrible forehand. I don't remember the 6-5 point, but it was another chance for Rafa. I remember that.
Yeah, I think certainly I think that second match point will be the one that will haunt him. As you were saying, It was a case of when he came forward, all he had to do was, I mean, if he just put that forehand cross court, it would have been a much easier shot to have gone from, and would have got the result of winning the match. And it's something he's got to live with. I'm gonna have to shoot now. When my voice is gone, but it was a good match to cover. Start the season.
Yeah.
See you later on.
All right.
See you.
Gene's saying so sad for Rafa. I don't know if he's being ironic because he's a big Djokovic fan. Not wanting him to end like this. Well, I mean, I hope Gene's not suggesting this is the end. Did maybe Gene knows something we don't? But yeah, that was the horrible moment, and I forget what I was about to say. But yeah, I mean, now we've got 9-10 days for him to sort of get a bit more of a practice. And Gene, you've really confused me with these comments, I have to say. But I think you just mean it's a disappointing result from match point. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It did have some Tsitsipas vibes, that quarterfinal in 2021. Of course, that was 5 sets. This was 3, but there was a horrible smash from Nadal. I think there may have been 2 actually from him in that particular tiebreak when he was 2 sets to love up. And yeah, and just the sort of way that Nadal sort of fell away as that match wore on. I mean, Nadal was just not making any impression on the Tsitsipas serve, and Tsitsipas was growing in confidence. And yeah, I mean, Nadal had a sniff, of course, at love 15 and then 15-30 in the final game. But there was a fairly lengthy stretch where Jordan was pretty comfortable on serve, I felt.
In the first set?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone made the comparison in the chat. I think maybe it was Matthew, to the Raducanu Svitolina match. Like, it's literally the same pattern, you know. You don't win it in 2. There's absolutely no chance you're gonna win it in 3 from there, because the opponent is just fresher, and fresher to an extent that really makes it so hard for you to play.
I noticed a few points at the beginning of the third. There was a couple of easy-ish putaways from Jordan, but there was not really a running sort of full pelt attempt from Nadal. And I saw it and I thought, this is looking a bit, it doesn't mean he's going to lose the match necessarily, because, you know, Rafa could just serve well and wheel out the forehands he did against Taylor or against Chapeau in very sticky situations in years gone by. And I think we did see a little wobble from Jordan near the end, no?
When? Last game?
I mean, when he was serving it out, I felt it was a little tentative on some of those shots, and probably felt a slightly revitalized Rafa on the other side of the net, who's won 22 Grand Slams.
Maybe a little. I mean, he does have some issues, especially when it comes to his forehand. Like, that's why he's only good in quicker conditions, really, because he cannot, you know, just hit through the ball if it's like, yeah, uncomfortable for him. If it's not exactly a shot that's like an approach or something, it's not a massive shot off the ground. So I think it was fine for him to play that rally like this. But, you know, as a whole,
the last rally was pretty special.
Oh yeah, I mean, the rally, I was thinking of that one at 15:30. But as a whole, yeah, Rafa definitely did give him a couple of easier points there.
The rally of 15 all is the one where he felt a bit tentative, and
that's the one I was referring to.
Yeah, and then he sort of whacks his racket into the ground and just changed his racket. I'm not sure if there was a ping on a string or something, but he did change his racket at that point and won the next 3 points. So that was a sensible decision. But yeah, the match point, I mean, maybe Rafa might felt as though he could have gone a touch bigger on some of those, but he was pushing Jordan. And to be honest with you, those kind of rallies in the first set, Rafa was winning them. But on this occasion, it was Rafa who blinked first by going long.
Should be taking most of these, right? Whenever he gets Thompson to slice and just, manages to keep maneuvering him. But, well, not on that occasion.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in today. It's been pretty epic, this one, an almost 4-hour stream, and 3 3/4 of that, or 3.5 hours of that, was indeed the match itself, as you can see on the screen. 3.5 hours. Of course, if it had gone to a tiebreak, we may well have seen 4, and it nearly did. But I think Gene is probably overreacting slightly in the chat. I don't think we need to press too many. If this was, I mean, don't forget, in Brisbane, he went out at a similar stage in 2017. And he comes back and gets to the final in Australia. Of course, this is a very different Rafa. It's 6 years on, and we've got a few more question marks. But for me, it's about the draw. You know, if he plays Jordan, for example, in the 3rd or 4th round at the Australian Open, and that's, by the way, a pretty good result for Jordan, then we may well see a very, very different Rafa and a very different result. He is only going to get better. I would just be concerned that the Australian Open might come a couple of weeks too early for him in terms of his comeback, especially if he's
I don't think this should be the expectation, that he goes into the second week. Like, literally for now the expectation is win a couple of matches, get some time in on the court.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I do think the draw is key, because we might be looking at it going, he's not winning a match, or we might see the draw
He
and
might
go,
be.
I think he can make the second week. I think you're right. If he just gets a regular draw, let's say he gets Jordan in the first round, followed by a qualifier in the second, you go, okay, yeah, third round should be all right until he's set to play Runa or Shelton or Zverev even, by the way, perhaps. I mean, Zverev obviously having a pretty good win today against Tsitsipas.
If he plays Djokovic in the first round, he's not going to win more than 6 games. No, 6 games is maybe a stretch, but it's going to be like the final in 2019. So
Yeah,
he will be hoping to avoid that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the first hurdle. Avoid Djokovic in the first round. But the problem that Rafa needs as unseeded is there's probably about another 5 or 6 players that he needs to avoid until the second week to give himself half a chance, maybe even more, as there's plenty of other dangerous players that will actually even be unseeded themselves. Anyway, as I said, that does bring us to an end. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do check out Damien and get his Seeds of Wisdom on Twitter at Damien Kust. Give James as well a follow at Tennis Ranter, and of course, Talking Tennis across all the socials at Talking Tennis. And Damien, are you going to sleep again?
No, probably not. I don't know. Yeah, the next night is what scares me, because you've got Poland, China at 30 past midnight or something like that, and then yeah, all the challenger finals are at 6-7 a.m. So it will be a nightmare.
Which is the first match between Poland and China?
Not China. Oh Jesus, I said China. Poland, France, of course. Manarino, Hurkacz. Yeah. Poland, China was the quarters. No.
So it's Igor against Garcia.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they didn't play any good matches last year, but maybe this one.
No. Definitely nothing. Nothing that would make your list of like the top 7. Well, top 7 maybe, but definitely nothing that would be in the top 3. No.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Of every reasonable person, at least. Top 3 of every reasonable person.
Thanks for tuning in. I do anticipate having plenty more live watch-alongs in the coming 24 hours. Whether Damien features awake, alive, or not, I'm not sure. We'll have some chats maybe off air, but if he could do one, that'd be great. But I understand that his batteries, a bit like Rafa's in that last set, were running on empty.
Now it's fine, but in this night will be rough.
I'm like you. I'm the sun is up now, and I'm revitalized right now, and that's a problem for me too, because I think I had, and I honestly don't know how many hours sleep I had, because I'm so confused with all the different time zones I'm having to keep up with, that I don't know if it was 2, 3, or 4 hours. I know it was substandard. Anyway, everyone else, thanks for joining us, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because we're going to have plenty more watch-alongs in the next 24, 48, 72, and coming weeks, of course, with Australia on the horizon. Thanks for tuning in, and you know the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.